Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio, 26 January 2025. We begin tonight with something new to us, Meet Me at Parky's, a comedy that's new to us here. The episode is entitled New Landlady. We move then to Sonny and Buddy, Jerry at Fair Oaks, another episode of Jungle Jim. We have The Mysterious Traveler, Death Laughs Last. We move to the Matinee Theater, a drama called Random Harvest. Then we have Plum House, a modern production, a comedy from the BBC. And we have something called Yiddish American Comedy. We're introduced to Mo the Schmo. And then we move to Easy Aces. Jane writes a letter. So a wide variety of programs that were broadcast over a wide time period. We hope that you like the show. So let's get started.
From Hollywood, California, the makers of Old Gold cigarettes bring you Meet Me at Parky's.
Some family I've got. I wait all year for Father's Day. Look at the presents you give me. A raccoon coat, a pair of ear laps, an umbrella, and a pair of overshoes.
But, Father, don't forget, you're in California.
But even so, I can't use ear laps.
There, Pop. Don't blow your top. Why be irritated? Light an Old Gold and meet me at Parky's.
Henry Brown is dean of this college. On this, your graduation day, I'm happy to announce that you have been chosen the man most likely to succeed.
This makes me very happy, Dean.
Happy? This makes the 27th consecutive year I've been wrong.
Now, there, Dean. Why be irritated? Light an Old Gold and meet me at Parky's. Yes, everybody meets at Parky's, so come along to Parky's Restaurant and say hello to David Street, Betty Rhodes, Opie Cates and his orchestra, and our genial host, Park Your Carcass.
Me. What a day this was. I'm got to do everything around this restaurant. The dishwasher don't show up. The chef is sick. I told him not to eat here. The laundry has done come back, and even Betty, my cashier, should have been here 2 hours ago. Now, top everything else, I'm got to type up this menu myself, too. Might as well get going. Let's see, the first thing I got is roast beef. Roast is R-U-S-T. Beef is B-I-F. Don't look right. I think it needs a hydrant in between. That looks better. Now for dessert, I think I'll make a colonial pudding. How do you spell colonial? It's a long word, colonial. I better break them up in small syllables. That's C-O. Lon is L-O-A-N. Now I got cologne. Smells good. Knee, that's K-N-E-E. Now I got cologne. And eel is E-E-L. I got it. C-O-L-O-A-N-K-N-E-E-E-E-E-L. Think I left out an E. Gee, that's a long word, colonial. The papers don't be wide enough for colonial pudding. I'll make a pie.
Hello, Barky. I see you've taken my job. Look, I'm awfully sorry I'm late.
Now, Betty Rhodes, this is the first time that you came in late this year. Now, if it happens again, it'll be the second time. You know, you're not paying no attention to your job. All you do all day long is dream about that David Street.
God, I do not. Come on, let me get at that typewriter. I'll get the menu done in a jiffy. But he is cute, isn't he, Parky?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. What's the first item?
First item you put down is the 35 cents businessman's lunch.
35 cents? What can you give the businessmen for 35 cents?
We'll give him the business.
Parky, you're always joking. Come on, give me the rest of the menu and give it to me fast because I've got a lot to do.
I'll give it to you fast. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, we're going to have sea lime steak and tender lime steak, good piece lamb chop, great big pork chop, nice fried onions, fresh peeled scallions, French fried potatoes, lettuce and tomatoes, trim beans, baked beans, hot beans stew, rhubarb, cooked out chicken stew, mackerel, pickerel, haddock, tripe, lobster, oyster, shrimp, or pike, hot pie, cold pie, soft pie, mud pie, eagleberry, bloomberry, stumberry, good cream, chicken, flat cream, rock cream, squash top apple, coconut disgusted, mustard, custard, ketchup, chili, salt and pepper, and piccalilli. $0.45.
Oh, Parky, not that fast. I'll never get all those dishes done on this menu.
Oh, what dishes? All you got to do is put down one dish.
One dish?
Yeah, hash.
But if I put down one dish, the customers won't have a choice.
They'll have a choice. They can either take it or leave it.
Gee, Parky, you know, I wish I could take it or leave it.
You mean hash?
No, I mean love.
The same thing.
How can you say that? How can you say that hash is the same as love?
Well, sure it is. Look, you're a warm dish and you're me a cold potato. He's got plenty of lettuce, so you had a couple of dates. He thinks you're a peach. So love starts to boil, you're planning to live on his celery. Then you find him with another tomato. You start to stew. He goes out and gets fried, and your heart is chopped up into itsy-bitsy pieces. And, sister, if that ain't hash, I never heard of it.
Oh, but Parky, David is different.
Ah, different. I don't know what you see in that David Street. What has he got? All right, he's handsome. He got big shoulders. He's young. He's healthy. He got social position, and he got a lot of money. See, that is something, isn't it?
Yes, but David won't even look at me. You know, Parky, I'm afraid I'll never get a man.
No, but you were able to get 21 men for me, that Opie Cates and his orchestra. For 3 months they're here now, and all they do is eat and don't pay. All day long. Put it on the cuff. Put it on the cuff. Got so many figures there now, I got to hire a special bookkeeper just for my cuffs.
Yes, but Parky, they've been a fine attraction for the restaurant. They play beautifully. Those 21 boys play like one man.
I wish they would eat like one man. Opie Cates, look at him standing there. Bet he don't weigh 75 pounds, soaking wet. First time I ever seen a chest and a backbone with no mister in between.
Well, I'll admit he does look like an accident going someplace to happen, but he's kind of a sweet little guy. Sometimes I feel awfully sorry for him. Look, doesn't he look sad standing there?
Sad, he looks unconscious.
Opie, come here.
Well, hello, Betty. Hi, Parky.
Hi.
Say, you know something? You're all out of bacon. We had to eat ham again today.
That's a new one. He don't pay any complaints. I never heard anything like that.
Betty, I was just thinking maybe tonight we could have us another date, huh?
Oh, you mean you want me to walk down the street to the bakery and smell hot bread again? Gee, Opie, we've done that for 3 nights in a row.
Well, I know, but tonight they're putting raisins in it.
No, I'm allergic to raisins, Opie.
Well, I kind of wanted to talk over a swell new song called I Wish I Knew. If you're not busy, maybe we could run it over with you now.
Well, gee, I'd love it. Is it all right with you, Parky?
No, what are you asking me for? I'm not the boss. I only own this place.
I wish I knew someone like you could love me. I knew you place no one above me. Did I mistake this for a real romance? I wish I knew, but only you can answer. Hope and pray so. Don't lead me on. If I'm a fool, just say so. Should I stray soul. Don't lead me on. If I'm a fool, just think so. Should I go dreaming on or just forget you? What shall I do? I wish I knew. Opie, I love that arrangement you made of the song. What do you think of it, Parky?
There's another arrangement I'd like even better. If you would make an arrangement to pay me that $62.48 he owes me for food. You know, I got a restaurant around here. What does he think what I pay the milkman with bottle tops?
Well, now, there, Parky. Why be irritated? Light an old gold.
Yeah, I can get... Oh, Bob Williams. Say, you don't know what aggravations I got here.
Well, Parky, when little annoyances get you down, light an old gold. You'll always enjoy grand extra flavor in an old gold, plus special protection against cigarette dryness.
Yeah, protection. That's what I need against that Opie Cates.
Well, I don't know about Opie, but I do know to help prevent cigarette dryness, old golds are conditioned with a special moisture-protecting agent we call apple honey, made from the juice of fresh apples. In addition, Old Gold's unique blend of many great tobaccos is enriched with rare imported Latakia tobacco for delightful extra flavor. Extra flavor plus extra protection against cigarette dryness. So for a better, keener, tastier smoke, light an Old Gold.
You know, that's a good idea. Give me a carton of Old Golds, will you, Parky?
Boy, is that Opie or dopey. You know, there's a limit to everything.
Why, yes, even the quantity of Old Golds is limited, and for a good reason. You know, Old Gold quality is held to full 24-carat standard.
No carrots. You see, all the carrots goes to the army now. They take all the carrots.
Well, and our armed forces get first call on all cigarettes we make. And yet we're doing our best to assure your share of remaining Old Golds. So, if you must take substitute brands today, remember, you may have Old Golds tomorrow.
You have them tomorrow, huh? Well, that sounds very reasonable, Bill. Say, Betty, what's the matter? I call you and you don't hear me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Parky. I guess I was daydreaming. I know I must have been because this registered letter was left for you 2 hours ago, and I forgot to give it to you.
Registered letter? Let me see it. Dear Mr. Parky Caucus. Say, the man writes a nice letter, doesn't he? In fact, July 1st, it will not be necessary for you to send in the rent for your store, as I expect you to promise you a vacation. You'd sign Miss Prudence Rockbottom.
Prudence Rockbottom? Why, that's your new landlady. She just bought this building last week.
Oh, what a lovely woman. Think of it. Don't got to pay no more rent for the store, and she expects to promise me a vacation.
Well, I can't believe it. Promises you a vacation,
Yeah.
no rent? Hey, let me see that letter.
There it is, right there. You can read it.
Expects to promise you a vacation. It says she expects the premises to be vacated.
No wonder I couldn't read it. She writes too close to the paper.
Parky, don't you know what this means, Parky? This is an eviction notice. They're throwing you out.
Throwing me out? After I'm here 18 years, how can they throw me out? Betty, this is a great shock to me. I am housebroken.
Parky, you mean heartbroken.
No, I mean housebroken. They're treating me like a dog.
Parky, what in the world's the matter with you? What's the matter with you, Parky? Your face looks as white as your apron. Even whiter.
Hoppy, they're throwing me out of the store. They just sent me a conviction notice.
Throwing you out? That's the worst news I've heard in years.
I didn't know you were such a friend of mine.
Friend? What's that got to do with it? Where am I going to eat? Wait a minute. I got an idea, Parky.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, look at the signature on that letter. Miss Prudence Rockbottom.
Yeah.
And the miss is in capital letters. Sounds to me like she's a single woman, and I ain't never heard of no single woman that wasn't looking for a husband.
Well, you mean in order to stay in the store, I got to marry her?
Well, stores are pretty hard to get today, Parky, and maybe if you went over and talked to her...
See, that's not a bad idea, Opie's, Parky. You should at least go over and have a talk with her. Women have been known to do some awfully strange things if they like a guy a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Well, I got a better idea. Instead of me going, Opie's gonna go.
Oh, no, sir. Not me, Parky.
Look, if you don't go, no more food.
No more food?
No more food.
You know something, Parky? You just made up my mind. My brain says, Opie, you're going to get yourself into a mess of trouble. But my stomach says, Opie, you're going to get yourself a mess of victuals. So, Miss Rockbottom, Opie's a coming a-courting. Let me see now. Here's her apartment.
Yes,
How do you do, sir?
sir. I'm Miss Rockbottom.
Oh, pardon me. I was looking at you from an angle. I'm Opie Cates. Parky Carter's got your letter about his restaurant.
Oh, are you married?
Oh, no.
Come into the parlor. We'll sit on that chair over there.
Well, wouldn't it be better to sit over there on that sofa?
You run your business and I'll run mine. There now. Isn't this nice and comfy?
Well, don't you think it'd be better if you sat on my lap?
Oh, you strong, impetuous man.
See, I came over here to talk to you about Parky's restaurant. You see,
I'm
been
so
eating.
happy that I just bought the building that you're in. Otherwise, we might never have met.
Oh, it ain't my building. I just eat in Parky's restaurant.
Oh, what difference does it make who you are? You're a man. Of course, if we were to become engaged, it would make a difference, wouldn't it? Oh, please don't think me forward, but you really are handsome. Your eyes are like the azure skies reflected in limpid pools.
Really?
Your smile is a touch of heaven.
What do you know about that?
Oh, it's heavenly. Oh, but let's not talk. Kiss me, kiss me.
Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, what you said.
Kiss me, I say.
Oh, please, Miss Rockbottom, take your hand off of my wrist. You're hurting me.
Oh, I'm sorry, precious. I don't know my own strength. You intoxicate me. Let's get married at once.
Oh, come on now. I got to get used to you.
Oh, what difference does that make? Just picture us as man and wife, and maybe in a year.
Oh, no.
And maybe in a year.
Oh, no, not that.
What's the matter?
Well, you got to give me at least 2 years. I'm young. I must have my freedom. I want to live.
Well, at least we can be engaged.
All right, so we're engaged, but let's keep it a secret, huh?
All right, my darling. But let's go out tonight and celebrate our engagement. You wait here. I'll go now and make up my face. I want my skin to be soft. Do you touch?
You know something? I learned a trick over in Parky's restaurant that can make your skin nice and smooth very quickly.
Really? How?
Oh, it's easy. You just dip your face in a pan of boiling water.
Dip my face in boiling water. Will that make my face smooth?
Well, it always works on dried prunes. I know they got less wrinkles than you got.
Opie Cates' clarinet and his orchestra play The Sheik of Araby.
Parky, I wonder how Opie's romance is working out.
Yeah, well, it's better work out all right because I just finished baking a wedding cake. Oh, look who's back. Bob Williams, old gold salesman. Come in, Bob.
Hello, Parky. Hello, Betty. Mind if I use a telephone?
No, go right ahead. You'll find the nickel hanging on a string.
You know something, Parky?
Yeah.
Did you ever stop to realize what life would be like without the telephone? Now, there's a mighty useful invention.
Oh, sure. Without a telephone, there's no use talking.
But but seriously, Parky, you know the telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876.
1876?
Almost 20 years ago.
No, Parky, that's almost 70 years ago. And even at that time, the Lorillard business was 116 years old. You see, it was founded in 1760.
In 1760 it was founded? You know, something I didn't even know it was lost.
Look, Parky, when I say the Lorillard business was founded in 1760, I mean that's when it was started.
Oh.
And that's nearly 2 centuries of association with the world's choice tobaccos. And this vast experience is reflected in the quality of Old Gold cigarettes today. Marvelous quality, consistently maintained despite wartime conditions.
Oh, you don't got to tell me about old golds, Bob.
Oh.
You know, all day long, people is asking me for old golds. They say, old gold, they want you. If I had them, I could sell millions of them. Even thousands.
Look, as to quantity, Parky,
Yeah.
Naturally, that's still limited, for we're still in a fighting war. Yet we're doing our best to assure your share of Old Golds for home front enjoyment. So, Parky, if your customers must take substitute brands today, remember, you may have Old Golds tomorrow.
Say, Bob, you said that so nicely. Before you go, I'm going to make you a nice southern dish.
Gee, that's wonderful. What southern dish?
How'd you like to sit down to a nice big bowl of weevils?
Oh.
Hello, Parky. Hiya, Betty.
Well, go ahead, Betty. There's your great David Street. All day long, all you do is talk about him. David Street, David Street, David Street. That's all I hear. And when he comes in, you can't even say hello.
Well, that's not true, Parky. Don't believe him, David.
Oh, say, how about the dance Saturday night, Betty?
Oh, I'd love to go.
Well, I'm covering the dance for the paper that night so we can go together.
Oh, it'll be a swell affair. Opie's been rehearsing all week for it.
Good. Parky, got any items for my column? You hear everything that's going on. Who's getting married? Any blessed events? What do you know that I don't know? What's new?
What's new? New York, New Haven, pneumonia, neuritis. That's new.
Well, if it wasn't for you, none of us could get out a column. You sure get all the dirt, Parky.
Nah, I don't know nothing. If you want any news, you'll have to go around and do your own peeking in your own keyholes.
Why, Parky, that's embarrassing.
No. The only time it's embarrassing, my boy, is when you peek through a keyhole and see another eye.
Parky, I'm disappointed. I thought I'd get a big scoop from you today.
Well, I tell you what I got for you, Mr. Newspaperman. I got a new recipe for your household hints column.
A recipe, huh?
Yes, sir.
A little bit out of my line, but I'll be glad to turn it in.
Oh, this recipe makes the most beautiful cake what you never tasted in your whole life, even if you live so long. Really malicious.
Malicious?
Positively delirious. This is a cake which it is called the Parky-Kakis whipped cream. 3-layer banana, coconut, marshmallow, maple syrup delight cake. With nuts.
That sounds good. How do you make it?
Well, first I take 15 eggs.
15 eggs?
I pick out 3 good ones. Now I take a quart of milk. Homogenized, of course.
Homogenized?
So, you talk with a dialect? Now you put in 3 bananas. Even better if you peel them. And now comes the part which I am the most crazy, the maple syrup part. You open up a can of maple syrup, you pour in 3 galops, and then you...
Wait a minute. You pour in what?
3 galops.
What's a gallop?
You know when you open up a can of syrup, you start to pour it goes gallop, gallop, gallop. Put in 3 of those.
Parky, I'd better gallop out of here. I won't have any column tomorrow. Goodbye.
Well, wait a minute. You don't going to leave here without you done sing the song for the customers, is it?
Well, gee whiz, what kind of a song would you like, Parky?
A love song.
Who's asking you?
Then how about You Belong to My Heart?
Oh, that's a very beautiful song. I would like to hear that.
You belong to my heart now and forever.
million guitars played our love song. When you said I love you, every beat of my heart said it too. Was a moment like this. Do you remember? And your eyes threw a kiss when they met mine. Now we own all the stars and a million guitars are still playing. Darling, you are the song, and you'll always belong to my heart. A million guitars are still playing. Darling, you are the song, and you'll always belong to my heart.
That was wonderful. Really wonderful.
What's Opie? How did you do, kid? Did you save my store for me?
Yep, I sure did.
Did you get engaged, Opie?
Well, sort of. You're going to meet her. She's coming over here next week.
Well, Opie, is she beautiful, huh?
Well, to give you a rough idea, she's so homely that she'll never die. She'll just kind of lay there and ugly away.
Opie, just to show you my appreciation what you did for me, I'm going to have the wedding right here in the restaurant, and everything's going to be in the house. And if later on in your life you have a son, no matter how you do, whether you are rich or poor, your son can always come to me and get a job as a busboy.
And so ends the first episode of Meet Me at Parky's. Tune in again next Sunday night, same time, same station. Is it a date? Okay, then. Meet me at Parky's. It's Bob Williams saying good night for Old Gold.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The sheriff has accused everyone in our little party of being under suspicion of the murder of Jim. But Sonny and Buddy finally remembered a little incident which places the sheriff also under suspicion. We find our two little adventurers outside the house car, and they are still talking of the mystery which everyone is trying to solve.
Say, Sonny, no fooling. That sheriff might have killed Jim at that.
Yes, he might have. But still, if he did kill him, he wouldn't try to deny it, because he's an officer of the law. And he could claim that Jim resisted arrest and he shot him to protect himself.
Yes, but the sheriff can't make an arrest in Mexico because he's an officer of the law in the States. Don't you remember? He said he couldn't even carry a gun over here. So he couldn't get away with that story about shooting Jim because he resisted arrest, because the Mexican police officers would say that the sheriff had no right to make an arrest or to carry a gun.
That's right. And don't fool yourself. The sheriff had as much trouble with Jim as Dad had. Why, don't you remember how mad Jim was when the sheriff kept running down his nightclub to Mother?
Yeah, I thought sure there was going to be trouble that night between Jim and the sheriff. Didn't you?
I guess there would have been if Mother hadn't been there. Jim didn't want to cause trouble before her.
Say, Sonny, I wonder where Mother is.
Well, you know, Betty said Mother moved a grip over to the hotel as soon as Dad returned from the hospital. Maybe she's over there.
No, I've been to the hotel several times to see her. And the clerk always tells me she's out. But out where?
Out to see the lawyer, I guess. She's still trying to arrange to take us back home, isn't she?
Yes, but gosh, I wish we knew for sure where she is, because there might be some truth in what the sheriff said at that. If the police ask us where our mother was all this time and we say we don't know, well, they're liable to try to connect her with the crime.
Oh, that's silly. How could they connect her with Jim's death? Now, what reason would Mother have to want Jim out of the way?
Because Jim tried to keep us here to sing in his nightclub. The police might say that Mother and Jim quarreled about that.
Oh, Buddy, don't even think of such a thing about Mother.
I'm trying not to think about it. But if that old sheriff doesn't keep his mouth shut, he's liable to have us all mixed up in this trouble.
You know, Buddy, things do look kind of bad for Dad at that. The quarrel he had with Jim and the threat, and a mortgage falling due on the day Jim was killed. You know, the police could hold Dad on suspicion just for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Betty said that Dad was gone all that day, too. Oh, gee, I hope he can prove where he was.
Dad said that just as soon as he got everything straightened out, he was going to leave Mexico. And he's going to try to get Mother to go along with him.
Oh, boy, wouldn't that be great?
Sonny, no.
What is it, Betty?
Look, this bag of money that we've saved to pay on the mortgage. Oh, my goodness, business is wonderful. And if it only keeps up like this, and if we could just have a few more weeks before they settle Jim's affairs, I feel sure we'll be able to meet the debt.
How much have you now, Betty?
Close to $500. We sold 150 bottles of medicine last night.
At $1 a bottle? That's $150. Oh, gee, that's great.
Why, if business just keeps up like last night, it won't be long before we'll have our $1,500.
Dad says there's an epidemic of malaria fever going around, and it's boosting the sale of our medicine 100%.
Senorita.
That fellow out there is calling you, Betty.
Is Dr. Legree's tonic and toner good for malaria fever?
Si, senor.
Bueno. Then I'll take 2 bottles. And my friend here says he will buy 2 bottles if the little boy will sing a song for him.
Will you, buddy?
For $2? I'll sing anything. Oh, what a thrill. You whisper to me, it's you I adore, and others have told me the same thing before. But oh, what a thrill to hear it from you. Oh, I don't know why it sets me aflame. The words are familiar, the thought is the same. But oh, what a thrill to hear it from you. Each little thing that you say, dear, each word you impart in some magic way, dear, goes right to my heart. They sing it in songs, they say it in plays. I love you, it's only a phrase. But oh, what a thrill to hear it from you.
Man, that show is drawing the crowd, eh? Look at them coming from all directions. Go on, boys, and keep singing while I sell. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, you was just in time to see the big show. It's going on now. It's going on all the time. It's never over. It never stops. It's all free.
Nay, the other little fellow. Will he sing side by the seaside?
There, Rastus, the man wants to know if you sing side by the seaside.
Will they buy 2 more bottles of medicine?
Yeah, and you'll probably need them when we get through singing.
Little Rastus has just had a special inquest, ladies and gentlemen, to sing side by the seaside.
Side by the seaside, with my little sonny honey by the seaside. We take a dip and then we'll lie around again. Side by the seaside, side by side, high or low tide. If it's ever flow or high or low or no tide, you will find us with a swell, thick and pretty little shell. Side by the seaside, oh boy. Yum, yum. Drinking frozen soda water in the sun. Yeah, man, it's some fun. Nothing could be half as swell as to be beneath the beach umbrella. Let the rest linger inside. We prefer to linger longer on the outside, 'cause we find it much grander holding hand on the sand, sitting side by side on the seaside.
Hey, you got a great big crowd crowd tonight, ain't you, boys? Business must be pretty good.
Oh, hello, Sheriff. Have you got any more news about who killed Jim?
Well, they're rounding up a bunch of suspects. I was just wondering if the police have been here yet. My goodness, where'd all this crowd come from?
Oh, boy, business is wonderful, Sheriff. Look at that bag of money. Won't be long before we can pay off Jim's debt to whoever claims it. Now, if Buddy and I could only collect that reward money...
Yes, Sheriff. What about our $500 reward money that's due us for that smuggler's arrest? Aren't we ever going to get it?
Reward money. Reward money. Jumping gee horseback. You boys just reminded me of something. I've got...
You've got the news that's worth dividing, eh, Sheriff?
No, I got something else that's worth dividing.
What is it, Sheriff?
Well, sir, clean forgot about it.
Forgot about what, Sheriff?
I meant to tell you boys about it this weeks ago, but there's been so much excitement going on.
You meant to tell us about what, Sheriff?
Well, sir, when you mentioned reward money just now...
Is there some news about our reward money?
Yep.
Are we going to get it?
Now, wait a minute, boys. Don't get excited before it's time, because you're liable to get disappointed.
Oh, Sheriff. Don't tell us we're not going to get it.
You viper.
Yes, well thought. But hold your horses a minute. You boys talk so fast you don't give me time to get a word in edgeways. I was fixing to tell you about this a long time ago, but first one thing, then another happened, and just took my mind clean off it.
Well, tell us, Sheriff. Do we get the reward money or don't we?
Well, boys, I hope you won't be too hard on me for keeping this from you for such a long time, but...
But what, Sheriff? Did we get the reward money?
Yep, you sure did.
We did.
Hooray!
Oh, boy, Betty.
Boy,
Stop, Charcoal. Did you hear what the sheriff said? We get our $500 reward money.
Well, where is it? Let me see what $500 looks like.
Did they give you the money, Sheriff, or will we have to go over to the courthouse and get it?
Did they give it to us in a check or in cash?
Yeah, give it to me in a check. I got it right here in my pocket. Been carrying it around my pocket for 3 weeks, but I plumb forgot all about it until you mentioned reward money a little while ago.
Again, you sizzle viper.
Come on, give it to us quick, Sheriff.
Yeah, come on and give it to us before you forget it again.
Hold on a minute now. You're tearing my clothes off me. Now get away and turn me loose. Now let me get my hand in my pocket here. Let me get the money out of my pocket.
Sheriff.
Come on, Sheriff, give it to us.
Hurry now.
I thought it would be in that vest pocket, but it ain't.
Oh, come
Guess
on.
it's in the other pocket of my vest. Let me see now. Nope, ain't there neither.
Sheriff, if you tell us you haven't got that check...
Well, I ain't telling you that, am I? Got more than 2 pockets. Let me see if it's in my pants pocket. Well, I sworn. Here it is. Nope, ain't neither. That's another kind of piece of paper. Well, boys, I only got 1 more pocket. It ain't in my vest pocket, or my coat pockets, and I only got 1 more pocket my pants to look in.
Well, why don't you look in that pocket?
Because I'm scared to look.
Scared of what?
Because if I look in that pocket and the check ain't there, I'll drop dead.
Oh, well, look, Sheriff, look.
All right. Here I go. I'll look. Nope. Ain't there, boys. I've lost it.
What? Oh, Sheriff.
Oh, no, you couldn't have lost
Now,
it.
wait a minute. Let me think. I just happened to remember where that check is. Boy, do you know where it is?
No.
What's
Where?
that? It's down at the bottom of that mud hole that I fell in t'other night.
What?
Yes, sir. I remember seeing it fall out in my pocket as I was sliding in that mud hole.
Well, what's so funny about that?
I'm just happening to think that we'll have to draw straws to see who'll go down in that mud hole to get it.
Oh, yeah?
The sheriff certainly has a peculiar sense of humor. Sonny and Buddy fail to see anything funny in the loss of a $500 check. But you can be sure they'll be at the cave early in the morning.
at Fair Oaks.
Hey, Lee, what are we heading out this way for?
I thought we'd take a walk out to the polo field and watch the practice. Don't you want to?
Oh, sure. I was just wondering where we were going is all.
You haven't got anything else to do, have you?
All my demerits are worked off. Okay with my studies. In fact, I've got nothing but time on my hands.
Just a gentleman of leisure, huh?
That's right.
Only I'm not so sure about the gentleman part.
Why, Lee Phillips, how you talk. I'll have you know I'm both a gentleman and a scholar. Only I'm not so sure about the scholar part after getting that tough arithmetic problem from Mrs. Gardner this morning.
Oh, you mean the one about the train that travels 60 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a tough problem.
Oh, no?
I'll have an answer by the time we go to class in the morning.
Oh, sure, so will I. But the question is, will it be right?
You bet it will. I'll tell you, if you can't figure it out, I'll help you with it.
Okay, then we'll both be wrong.
Hey, who started all this kidding anyway?
I think you said something about me not being a gentleman a while ago. That's what started.
Okay, I quit.
Good.
Oh, say, I meant to ask you. You wrote that letter to Mr. Randall, didn't you?
Sure, last night in study hall. You saw me.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Uh-huh. I mailed it, too. Gee, I sure hope he answers it right away.
And sends the money.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that stranger. What's his name?
Mr. Russell?
Mm-hmm. Just like you said. Seems awfully funny for a perfect stranger to want to lend Mac the $250 to help him with his invention.
Yeah, he's just a little too anxious to suit me. Mac's easy and trusts everyone. If he isn't careful, he'll lose his invention.
I sure hope Mr. Randall sends you your money before Mac signs that contract with Mr. Russell. What did you say in the letter, Jerry?
I explained the whole thing. Of course, I didn't tell him what Mac's invention was, but I told him I thought it was very good and that, well, I said I wanted to invest my money.
That was a good way to put it.
I told him that it was a business proposition.
Well, he should like that.
I hope so. But, well, Mr. Randall's mighty careful about money matters. It wouldn't surprise me if he wrote it back and said he wanted to think it over for a week or so.
Oh, if he does that, it'll be too late.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, we'll just hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all we can do. I've done my part now, and the rest is up to Mr. Randall.
You didn't tell him about having to get the money right away on account of the stranger, did you?
No, but I told him I had to have quick action. I even told him to send the money airmail.
And did you mail your letter airmail?
Oh, sure.
Hey, there's your friend, Jerry.
Where? Who?
Over there, standing in front of the gym.
Oh, I see who you mean. Red Morrison. Say, he's no friend of mine.
Did you know he's been reinstated as a cadet officer?
No.
He's a captain again.
When did this happen?
Oh, Ted told me about it right after lunch today.
Well, what happened?
Just what I figured. Major Davis called a special officers' meeting, and he and Captain Gardner and Captain Rowland and all the other officers decided to reinstate Red. They figured that his saving Harold from drowning made him worthy of a cadet captain's rank.
Yeah, and I suppose they canceled his demerits, too, huh?
I guess so.
Well, that's the way it goes.
I'm still peeved about it, though.
Why, Lee?
Well, if you'd have saved Harold like you intended to, maybe you'd have sergeant stripes now instead of Red being reinstated.
Oh, I doubt that.
Oh, here comes Red, Jerry. Looks like he's deliberately walking toward us.
Yeah. Suppose he wants to let us know he's a captain again.
That would be just like him.
Hey, shall we salute him or wait until he tells us he's been reinstated?
Hey, that's an idea. Let's make him tell us. I'm afraid it would please his vanity too much if we saluted him without his having to tell us about it.
Hey, we're not supposed to know about it anyway, are we?
Oh, no. Most likely Ted Metcalf will announce at a drill tomorrow afternoon. Now.
Hey, you do the talking if there's any to be done.
Where's those salutes?
Salutes? For what?
Don't these gold bars mean anything to you anymore?
Gee, I didn't notice them.
Well, say, you've been made a cadet captain again. Well, swell, Red. Congratulations.
Never mind that. All I want from you is respect. Where's that salute?
Yes, sir.
That's better. Now, how about you, Cadet Dugan?
Yes, sir.
Do you call that a salute? Try it again.
Yes, sir.
I still don't like it. Let me see that forearm inclined at 45 degrees, hand and wrist straight. Now, look me in the eye. That's better. Now, drop your hand with a snap. That's much better. Now, just so you won't forget it, salute me 5 more times. All right, I'm waiting. You think you can remember that now?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be all. You're still at attention.
I am at attention.
Pull those shoulders back. Chin in. You too, Phillips.
Yes, sir.
I dislike correcting you men, but you understand we cadet officers have to keep you plebes in order.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is that sarcasm, Dugan?
Oh, no, sir, not at all.
All right, that'll be all. You can go now.
Thank you, sir.
The same old Red. I thought being demoted might have taken some of that out of him.
You know, Lee, I think I know what's the matter with him. I think his trouble is he's in love.
In love?
Uh-huh. In love with himself.
Oh, I get it.
Do you think I'm right?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said he thinks an awful lot of Red Morrison.
You know, I hope I never get to be like him if I get to be an officer. I'd rather not be an officer.
No, I don't think you'll ever have to worry about that. I don't think anyone could come near being like him. Now, take all the rest of the cadet officers. They do their duty and dress us down when we're wrong, but they do it in a nice way. It's true, we have to learn discipline, and we have to learn it from the cadet officers. But there are 2 ways to give out orders, and Red always uses the wrong way.
Yeah, you're right. I don't mind getting called down by Ted Metcalf. He always explains why he's doing it and makes you feel glad for the correction.
That's it, exactly. Oh, well, let's skip it.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's Cully Newsom. Hey, and he isn't riding with the rest of the fellas. I wonder how come.
Well, let's walk over there and find out.
Okay.
Hey, Cully.
Hello there.
How is it you're not up on a pony, cowboy?
Old Sergeant Alden wants me to watch the other fellows first. It's ridiculous. I've seen hundreds of polo games. And as for riding, well, there isn't a horse here spirited enough for me.
Oh, yeah? How about the sergeant's pony? I'll bet you couldn't even stay up on him.
Is that so?
Come on now, cut it out. Don't start an argument.
Cadet Newsom, get ready to mount your pony.
Yes, sir. Coming.
Come on, Lee. Let's go over by the fence.
Okay. What's your pony's name, Cully?
Rascal. But that's not a good name for him. He's anything but a rascal.
He's a pretty horse, isn't he?
He sure is. Hey, listen.
What?
Quiet, Jerry. Thought I heard the phone ringing in the sergeant's little office there in the stable. Sure it is. I'll go answer it. Tell the sergeant, will you?
Okay, Lee. Sergeant Alden?
Save your breath. Wait till he comes over to this side.
You don't seem very excited now that you've been made on the polo team.
Oh, all these preliminaries seem so foolish.
Well, you have to learn the game before you can expect to play it.
You ready, Newsom?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Your telephone was just ringing, and Cadet Phillips went to answer it. Oh, here he comes now.
Captain Gardner's calling you on the telephone, sir.
Oh, thank you, Phillips. Oh, here, Jurgen. You hold my horse while I go answer that call.
Yes, sir.
I'll be right back.
Hey, hold it, fella. Ah, there, that's a good horse.
Now I'll show you whether I can ride the sergeant's horse or not. Here, you hold Rascal, Lee.
Well, you can't ride the sergeant's horse, Cully. He won't like it.
I'll only take him once around the field. I'll be back before he finishes pony.
You better not, Cully.
I'll just tighten up this cinch strap. The saddle's much too loose.
Hey, no, it isn't. That cinch is just right. That horse won't stand for it any tighter.
You don't know any more about this horse than I do, Dugan. Whoa there. That's better. Now watch me ride him, Mr. Dugan. Come on, boy. Get up.
Hey, hang on. He'll throw you.
Oh, I knew this would happen. Watch out, Cully.
Hey, look at him go. Wow. Did you see him jump that fence? Hey, he's running away.
And he's heading right for that little path up by the cliff. We've got to stop him, Jerry. They'll both go over if he gets up on that narrow path.
Here, give me those reins. I'm going out after him. Here, Rascal. Let's go get him. Come on, boy.
Hurry, Jerry.
Hey, what's going on there? Come back here, Dugan.
Hurry, Sergeant. Jerry's gone after Cully.
Is that him heading for the cliff?
Yes, sir.
He's got my horse. He hasn't got a chance on that animal.
Jerry's gaining on him, but I don't think he'll be able to head him off before he gets to the cliff.
Come on, Phillips. Let's get up there.
Jerry's alongside of him now.
Yes, but they started up that path.
He's reaching for your horse's reins. He's got him. He's jumped off his horse. What's he trying to do?
Oh, he's trying to drag him to a stop, but I don't think he can do it. That horse of mine will just keep going and drag Jerry along with him until he can't hang on any longer. Come on, hurry, Phillips.
I'm coming, sir. Oh, why doesn't Newsom try to help?
That's all he can do to hang onto the saddle and keep from falling.
He's slowing down. He's going to stop. He is stopping.
Yes, sir. That boy is all right. What nerve. Now, get Rascal there and tie him up to that tree. I don't want him running away.
Yes, sir.
Right there is all right. That's good enough. Now, come on.
Oh, that poor horse is puffing like a steam engine.
I should think he would be after a ride like that.
Jerry's not getting up, sir. He's hurt.
It looks that way. But Newsom is all right. He's getting down now. Oh, this is a shame. I'm afraid Dugan took some pretty hard bumps there.
He's moving a little. Help him, Cully.
Hey, don't try to get up, Dugan. I'll help you in just a second. It's not wise to move him until you can see how badly he's hurt. That boy's a marvel. He's not only brave, but he's a good little horseman as well. He knew what he was doing, let me tell you.
Are you all right, Jerry?
I don't know. I guess I am. Oh, my arm.
Now, take it easy now, son. Is this the arm that hurts?
Yes, sir.
Let me see if you can move it.
There. Oh, it hurts, though.
No, I shouldn't wonder. It's pretty badly bruised. How's the other arm? How are your legs?
Is your horse all right, Sergeant? I'm sorry if I hurt him, but there wasn't anything else I could do.
No. Never mind about him. He's all right. Well, Newsom?
I'm awfully sorry, Sergeant.
Yeah, I should think you would be. Dugan might have been killed trying to save you from going over this cliff. You had no right trying to ride my horse. You know, I'm going to recommend a very severe penalty for this, Newsom.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to see that you get a fitting reward for this rescue, Dugan. But right now, we'll have to get you over to the infirmary and put you to bed for a few days.
Oh, no, I'll be all right. I don't want to go to the infirmary.
That's what you'll have to do. You know, it'll take a few days to heal those bruises, and you'll be lucky if the doctor doesn't find any broken bones. Oh, you lead my horse back, Phillips.
Yes, sir.
And Newsom, you get Rascal and take him back to the stable. He's tied to a tree down there.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Alden.
Yes, dear.
Can I say something to Lee before he...
Of course you can. Certainly.
What is it, Jerry?
If I'm going to be put to bed, how are we going to help Mac? Maybe I'll get that letter and the money from Mr. Randall tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll find out about the letter for you. And if it comes, I'll bring it right over to the infirmary. You just get well and leave the rest to me.
Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week we met Jungle Jim, a gentleman adventurer, and his native boy Kolu, a powerful Malaysian, as they returned to their camp and found it sacked and burned by river pirates. About to start to the village for new supplies, they were visited by the Reverend Manley Chalmers. who was on his way up country to investigate a report of a new religion being started among the natives. When Jim and Kolu reached the village, they met Lynn Chalmers, daughter of the missionary who had arrived unexpectedly and missed her father. So Jim took her under his protection. Stopping at a cafe to visit his old friend Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn, Jim saw a lad being beaten up by a brute of a man named Jacques Labat. Jim stepped up and warned the French-Canadian that he would give him the beating of his life. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Big Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. Jungle Jim, his eyes narrowed into burning slits, advances on the giant French-Canadian, Jacques Labat.
You want to fight, eh, Jungle Jim?
You heard me, Labat. I'm going to give you the beating of your life.
By God, you think you lick Jacques Labat, huh?
I'll make a good try at it.
Ha, 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 ha. You one funny man.
Maybe you won't think so when I get through with you.
Hold on now, Jim.
Oh, you keep out of this, Pat. This is between me and Labat. To the finish.
And I tell you now, what will be finished, Mr. Jungle Jim? Not me, Jacques Labat. How you like that?
Well, go ahead and talk. You won't be able to in a little while.
Come on, what you wait for?
I'm letting you get that rest first. I don't want you saying I took advantage of you when you were out of breath from beating up a kid.
That kid's a lie. Like one bad dog. I killed him.
I don't think so. He's coming out of it.
Well, fix that kid.
Hey, get that boy out of here, Pat.
That I will. Come along, me boy. Thanks,
Oh, I'll forget it, kid. But keep out of this half-breed way after this.
You bet I will.
Now let me get this coat off and I'll go to work.
Yeah, do be careful now, Jim.
Oh, don't you worry, Pat. I'll be able to take care of myself.
Maybe you take care of yourself, but you're not able to take care of Jacques Labat. Don't be too sure of yourself, Labat, and say that you fight fair and square. No hitting below the belt, mind you, and no fouling in the clinches.
There won't be any clinches, Pat.
Good. It's to be a fair fight, Jim. I'll stand here with this bottle in me hand and see to that.
Pat, let's move these tables back. We'll need plenty of room for Labat to land.
All right, Jim. Shove them back as far as ever you like. You waste your strength, Jungle Jim. You need all you got to stand up take what I'm going to give you. No use for move pebble and knock you right over him.
Listen to me, Labat. This time you're facing a man, not a kid half your size. This is a fight to the finish. In the meantime, the Reverend Manly Chalmers has arrived at Burawani and is interviewing a native.
What is your name, my friend?
Loki, Tuan.
Do you know the bush country up that way?
Yes, Tuan. Loki no bushland, lick, all same good.
Well, that's fine, Loki. Perhaps you're just the boy I'm looking for.
Why you want Loki, Tuan?
For two reasons. The first is I want some information. And the second, I want a boy to guide me up into the bush country.
Loki guide, lick, all same good.
Well, we shall see about that. Loki, how long ago did you come down here to Burawani from up there?
7 days, 7 nights, Tuan.
Loki, listen. I work for one big fella master. He orders us all to speak the truth. Do you understand?
Loki, no. One big fella master say lick, all same, no tell lie.
That's right, Loki. We must never tell lies. Now, how long ago did you come from up there?
7 days, 7 nights, Tuan.
A week ago, eh? Then you may be able to tell me what I want to know.
What, Tuan, want know?
I've heard that your brothers up there in the bush do not listen to the words of big fella master God. I've heard they worship another master. Is that true, Loki?
Loki, good boy, Tuan.
I'm not questioning that, Loki. I'm sure you are. But some of your brothers aren't.
What Tuan mean?
You know about God. The mission Tuan has told you about him.
Yes.
All good boys know and love God.
Yes.
But your brothers up there in the bush have forsaken him. They do the bidding of another master, Loki, a bad master. Isn't that true?
Maybe. Why you ask?
I want to find out why they obey this new master. Can you tell me?
Maybe.
Your brothers are holding some sort of ceremony up there in the bush. That is true, isn't it?
Yes, Tuan.
I want to see it, Loki.
No white Tuan ever see.
Perhaps not. but I want to see it. Will you take me up where they hold it?
What do you do there, Tuan?
Nothing. Just watch the ceremony.
Not for white Tuan's eyes.
Have you seen it, Loki?
Yes, see, Tuan. Loki see, lick, all same, plenty.
Tell me, what is it like?
Loki no can tell, Tuan.
You mean that you can't describe it, that you can't put it into words?
Loki make promise not tell what see.
Yes, but you didn't promise that you wouldn't take anybody up there where he can see the ceremony for himself.
No, Tuan. Loki no promise.
Good. Then you'll take me there.
Loki tell true. Tuan better he stay Burawani.
You mean it's dangerous for me?
Tuan better he stay here. Loki tell true.
Now listen, Loki. I am a missionary of God. I am not like some of my white brothers who mean your brother's harm. I'm on a mission of peace. Take me to this place where I may see this new ceremony, and I promise you that I'll come away with you quietly. I shan't start any trouble.
You want no kill my people?
No, Loki. Of course I won't kill your brothers. Just take me to this place you speak of, and after the ceremony I'll come away with you.
You want no got fire stick?
No, I have no gun, Loki. No fire stick.
Good. Loki got mission Tuan.
Splendid. When can we start?
Now.
Now is all right with me, Loki. Get into my boat. Sit there while I just turn the engine over. There. Now, which way, Loki?
Go there.
Righto. We're off.
While the Reverend Chalmers has been persuading Loki to guide him to the scene of the mysterious ceremony, Jim and Labar are mixing it up in the cafe.
More forward, Jim, me boy. More power here.
The half-breed charges, swinging viciously. Jim ducks the blows and rips his left into the giant's midsection.
Where you, Baker?
With a growl, Labar retaliates with a right to Jim's jaw, and Jim lands against the table.
How you like that?
Jim shakes his head to clear it and comes back at his opponent with a rush.
How do you like that? Good work, Jim. Watch out for any dirty work. Come on, Labar. Fight fair now.
But let's leave them to fight it out. We go to the hotel veranda where Lynn Chalmers is waiting for Jim to return. Kolo has made all the purchases and arrives at Lynn's side.
Missy Chalmers?
Yes, I'm Miss Chalmers. You must be Kolo.
Yes, Missy. Me, Kolu.
Mr. Jim told me you wore a red turban.
Yes, Missy. Kolu, likey, pretty turban. Only boy have red color turban. Well, so on, Jim. Kolu ready go back camp now.
He hasn't returned from the cafe. I've been expecting him.
So on, Jim. Tell Kolu meet him here. Kolu, wait.
Very well, Kolo. Kolo?
Yes, Missy.
What does Mr. Jim do?
Kolu, no. So on, Jim. At cafe. Kolu, here.
Oh, I don't mean what is he doing at the cafe. I mean, what is he doing down here? What does he work at?
No work.
You mean he's just a gentleman of leisure?
So on, Jim. No, gentleman. So on, Jim. Good master.
I'm sure he is. But hasn't he some work to do?
So on, Jim. Lick, all time fight. Bad white man. Bad black man.
Oh, I see. He's a crusader.
No, Missy. So on, Jim. Good fella master.
Of course, Kolo. That's what I said. But what was he doing here when he first came down?
Fight wild cat. Fight animal.
A hunter of wild animals? What for?
Swan Jim tie rope on animal. Kolu help push animal in bark.
Yes.
Bark put on puff boat. Swan Jim get much gold.
Oh, he captured them alive.
Yes, Missy.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes, Missy. Plenty much excite. Look, see.
Oh. What gave you that awful scar?
Wild cat.
How did it happen?
Wild cat, lick, make he jump for Swan Jim. Kolu get in way.
You mean you threw yourself between Mr. Jim and the cat?
Swan Jim no see wild cat. No have I him back head.
Then you saved your master's life.
Maybe, Missy. Swan Jim think so?
How wonderful of you, Kolu.
Kolu no could do but jump.
Oh, yes, you could have. Lots of boys would have jumped the other way. I'll bet Mr. Jim thinks the world of you.
Maybe, Missy.
Well, I bet he wouldn't trade you for all the other boys in Malaysia.
Maybe, Missy.
Where do you and Mr. Jim live, Kolo?
Up water. Swan Jim camp, lick, all same get burned. Come village, get new camp.
But how did it happen to burn?
Pirates come while we go. Lick, lick, burn tent. Lick, lick, take away tin can food. Food for gun.
That was too bad. But why were you away from the camp? Getting more animals?
No, Missy. One Jim go look see for white Missy and baby. Bad white man keep in cave.
Oh, how terrible. And Mr. Jim saved her.
Yes, Missy. One Jim save white Missy and baby. Now gone away on Puff Puff boat.
Mr. Jim must be a wonderful man, Kolu. I know my father admires him very much.
You father mission Swan with engine boat?
Yes, father's the missionary with the motorboat.
Mission Swan, good Swan. Belong one big fella massa on top in sky? Kolu, no?
I'm glad to hear that, Kolu. I wonder why Mr. Jim doesn't come back.
Swan Jim, old friend, Swan Slim. Plenty talky. Long time no see.
Then I guess there's nothing to do but wait.
Yes, Missy, we wait.
Down in the cafe, Jungle Jim and the French Canadian are still at it. Back and forth across the room they go. First one down on the floor, then the other.
Good for you now. Give it to him. Good for you, Jim. Let him have it. That's a beauty. Give him another one. You. Drop that knife, Labar. Drop it. I said I'd stand by to see fair play.
As the giant half-breed comes at him, Jim plants his left fist into his stomach. Labar doubles over. Jim swings from his boot tops and lifts him across the table. Labar is on the floor and lies still.
Glory be, what a fight that was, lad.
I thought he had me a couple of times, Pat. Well, that settles Jacques Labar.
I guess it does all right. He's... Jim!
What?
Out the doorway. Look out!
What can be behind the warning of Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn? What new menace confronts Jungle Jim? Be sure and be with us next week at the same time for the continuation of the great adventures in the life of Jungle Jim. Next Sunday, the Comic Weekly, which is distributed with all Hearst Sunday newspapers, will portray the scene you have just heard dramatized in thrilling full-color action pictures. Be sure and get it. And, of course, besides Jungle Jim, you will find Jiggs and Maggie, the inimitable Katzenjammer Kids, Flash Gordon, Stutz and Casper, and your old pal Skippy. Then don't forget to cut out those marvelous poster stamps. A full half page of new and interesting subjects such as ships, flags, American history, aviation, and animals. They are drawn by real artists and printed in full colors, each stamp 6 times as large as the ordinary postage stamp. The official album of the Poster Stamp Collectors Club is now available at all stores. So get the Comic Weekly next Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And don't forget to be with us next week at the same time for the continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.
The Mysterious Traveler.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerve, and be comfortable, if you can. Where are we going? Why, we're going to follow the adventures of a man who thought he could commit murder and escape punishment. I call the story Death Laughs Last. It was while I was practicing medicine in an eastern city that Edward Harrison brought his wife Mary to me for an examination. I could see at a glance that she was dangerously ill. When I had finished my examination, however, I tried to conceal her true condition from her till I had a chance to speak privately to her husband.
It isn't anything serious, is it, Dr. Smith? Oh, please tell me that it isn't.
Well, I'm afraid it's too soon to say, Mrs. Harrison. Until the X-ray plates are ready, I can't say yes or no.
But
now your husband is waiting outside. He's probably beginning to worry, so...
Oh, yes, of course.
Here's your wife, Mr. Harrison. You must have thought I'd kidnapped her.
No, but I was getting a little worried, Doctor. I hope you didn't find anything very wrong.
Well, I took several X-rays, but I won't be able to tell much until they're developed. I'd like your wife to come back day after tomorrow, if she can.
Of course, Doctor. What time would be the best?
Well, any time that's convenient to you. Now, I'll write out a prescription your husband can have filled. Will you step in for a moment, Mr. Harrison?
Sure thing. With you in a moment, Mary.
Of course, darling.
Sit down, won't you, Mr. Harrison?
All right. Now, what is it, Doctor?
Mr. Harrison, your wife is dangerously ill.
Does that mean she's going to die?
Her only hope is a brain operation. A very difficult and delicate operation. Without it, well, I could only give her 6 months, a year at most.
No, it mustn't be. She's got to have the operation, you hear?
I must tell you, Mr. Harrison, that only one man in this country has the necessary skill for the operation your wife needs. He's Dr. Howard Richards, and naturally he's in great demand. His average fee for an operation is about $1,500.
$1,500?
Well, of course, if you can't afford that, you might consider the circumstances and...
No, I can afford it. I can afford anything Mary needs.
Well, then I'll get in touch with him at once.
Yeah, sure. You make the arrangements right away, and I'll get a hold of the money. I'll get it to you by tomorrow, sure.
Darling, help me off with my coat, will you? Please?
Oh, sure, Mary. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Oh, much better since Dr. Smith gave me that medicine in his office.
He's a swell doctor. He'll fix you up in no time.
Did he tell you anything more, Edward?
Not a thing, except that the treatment might take a little time, that's all.
A little time? Oh, dear, I hope it won't be too expensive. Your business hasn't been good, and we've used up all the money in our savings account, and...
Oh, don't you fret about money. Don't you worry about anything.
All right, darling, I won't. Oh, but aren't you going to take your coat off?
No, I've got to get the prescription the doctor gave me filled. You just take it easy till I get back. I might stop in at the shop, too. There's something I've got to attend to there. Mr. Danvers, I'm Ed Harrison.
Oh, yes, Mr. Harrison. Please sit down. I see that you want to borrow $1,500 from us.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the security you offer, your home...
Well, what's wrong with it? It's a swell little house, good section, all in good repair.
Yes, that's true. But you already have a first and second mortgage on it, totaling $4,000. And, well, I'm afraid we can't make any further loans on it.
But I've got to have the money. I just got to.
I'm sorry to hear that, because there's nothing we can do to help you. Nothing we can do.
You say you're not employed, Mr. Harrison?
No, I own a shop. I'm a locksmith.
Mm-hmm. Well, that means you're never certain of your income. If you had a job now, a regular income you could depend on...
What are you getting at? You mean you're not going to let me have the money?
I certainly wish I could, but under the circumstances... Well, I'm sorry, very sorry, but there's nothing I can do.
I'm afraid the collateral you suggest isn't satisfactory, Mr. Harrison. We'd lend you the money if we could, but we just can't. Sorry.
But I've got to have it. I've just got to.
Sorry.
It's to save Mary's life. She'll die if I
Sorry.
don't. And I won't let her die. I won't.
Sorry.
Sorry. Look,
Sorry.
you must...
Sorry.
Listen.
Edward, you aren't eating. Oh, and you're so quiet. Is there anything wrong?
What? Oh, no, of course not.
You're worrying about me, aren't you?
Why, no, Mary. I was just thinking about making some changes at the shop. And...
Darling, you don't have to lie to me. I know I'm not well, but I'm going to get better. Really, I am, I promise.
Of course you are. Dr. Smith said so. You're going to be well in no time. Now I've got to go out. I have an appointment over the other side of the city with Horace Latimer. He wants to see me about something. Something important.
Edward had no appointment with Horace Latimer, but went to see Horace anyway. For he and Horace had been boyhood friends. Then their paths had separated, and Horace had grown wealthy. But in his desperation, Edward Harrison hoped that Horace would remember the past and would lend him the money he'd been trying to raise all day. Horace could spare it easily. But would he?
1,500? That's rather a lot of money, Ed.
I know it is, Horace, but it's for Mary, for an operation. I've got to have it.
Yes. Why don't you try the bank? You have a house, a business.
I have tried the bank and all the personal loan companies in town. They all turned me down, said the security wasn't good enough.
I see. Well, that's too bad. But I don't quite understand why you came to me, Ed.
Because we're friends, that's why. Because when we were boys, we agreed that we'd each of us always lend the other a helping hand if we could.
Boys don't understand business very well, I'm afraid, Ed.
No, I suppose not. They don't understand business. They just understand friendship. You know, if I had the money and you needed it, I'd lend it to you in a minute.
I don't doubt that at all, Ed. And you can bet I'd lend it to you if I had it. But that's the trouble. I haven't any ready cash. The income tax, you know, and a couple of shaky investments that I had to bolster up lately.
All right, Horace, never mind explaining. I get the idea. You're not going to lend me the money.
No, really, Ed, I would if I could, but I can't. I'm sorry,
Save your
but
sorrow for somebody else. I don't need your money, you hear? I'll get it someplace else. Yes, I'll get it. Somehow.
After he had slammed out of Horace Latimer's expensive home, Edward stood for a moment on the dark street corner, staring back with bitterness in his face.
Sorry. Yes, you're sorry. In a pig's eye, you're sorry. What a sap I was to think you were a pal of mine.
What's that, buddy? Oh, was you talking to me?
Oh, no, sorry. I guess I was thinking out loud.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, got a match?
A match? Oh, sure. Yeah, there you are.
Thanks. Okay, just hold it like that. Make a move and I'll plug you.
Gun?
Yeah,
Why,
this is a stick-up. Hold your whole hand over your dough and make it fast, see?
My dough? That's a hot one. I'm out trying to raise money myself. We're both out of luck. I've only got $1 on me. Take it if you want it anyway. It's more than I could raise.
Don't try to kid me. Stand still while I see what you got in your pockets. A wallet. A leather case of some kind.
You'll find just $1 in that wallet.
Yeah? A buck. One measly buck. I bet you got a roll hidden in this leather case. It's heavy enough.
There's nothing in there but my emergency kit.
Yeah, well, I'll just see for myself. Say. Oh, this kit is full of skeleton keys and picklocks and stuff. What are you, anyway? Second-story worker?
I'm a locksmith and a safe repairman, if it's anything to you. Now, how about taking the $1 and letting me go on my way? I'm in a hurry.
Not so fast, pal. Not so fast. Were you leveling just now when you said you was trying to raise dough?
Yeah, I've got to have $1,500 by tomorrow. What's it to you?
You'd be surprised, pal. Okay, I'm putting the gun away, but you ain't leaving yet. Me and you, we're gonna talk business. Because I got a plan that'll get us both all the dough we need. Two more beers, waiter.
Coming up.
Well, is it a deal on my proposition?
I don't know, Mike.
Sure you do. There's nothing to it. You can open locks and safes. I know where there's a house with plenty of dough in it. You and me together, we'll go get it. We'll make a team.
But burglary? I've never stolen anything in my life.
Listen, you said you needed the dough bad, didn't you? So do I, plenty bad. You said you'd do anything to get it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Then what are you hanging back for? All you gotta do is get the back door opened and the safe. In half an hour, you'll have your 1,500 and more. How else are you ever gonna get it? Answer me that.
I don't know. You're sure the money's there, Mike?
Positive. I was casing the joint. Looked in the window in time to see the old geezer put a whole roll of bills in a safe that's like a bread box. You could open it with your teeth.
All right, I'll do it. I've got to have the money. I'll go on the job with you.
Okay, this is the joint. Everybody's hit the hay long ago. It'll be a cinch.
The luck looks easy. But I shouldn't be doing this. There must be some other way to get the money straight.
Don't be a sucker all your life. You gotta take what you want in this world. If you don't, you'll never get it. Everybody's a crook of some kind. Take it from me.
Well...
Get on. Get that door open. We gotta get inside before we're spotted.
All right. Let me take a second, I think. Yes. There. It's unlocked.
Okay. Get inside. The safe's in the library. Down this way. Don't make any noise. Yeah, the old guy and his butler. Probably both of them deaf as posts. Here's the library. Come on. The safe's behind the picture on the wall.
This picture?
Yeah, that's it. I'll lift it down. There you are. That safe is just a kid's toy. Go ahead, get it open.
It won't be that easy. But I'll have it open inside half an hour.
Hurry it up. You've been 40 minutes on that thing.
It's coming now. There. It's open.
About time, too. And now let's see what's in it. Here's the cash box. Will I open it? There. Look. Dough, cash, Mazuma. What'd I tell you?
There must be thousands there.
Easy. Come on, we'll count it and divvy it up.
No, never mind. Just give me 1,500. That's all I want. You can keep the rest.
Are you kidding?
No, that's all I want. Just the 1,500 I need.
Okay, it's your funeral. Here you are. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $1,500 bills.
$1,500?
Yeah, for just an hour's work. Easy money, huh? Say, we crack a couple more cribs tonight?
No, I just want to get out of here now and...
Get behind this door. I'll take care of it.
Burglars! Jenkins, please help!
What'd you expect me to do? Shake his hand?
But you killed him. Yes. I'm an accessory to murder.
Cut the duff and let's get out of here. Or do you want to get caught?
No, of course not.
All right, let's get going. Come on, we can...
Stand still, both of you. I have a gun and I have you covered.
The butler.
If you move, I'll shoot. I can see you perfectly.
He's standing on the stairs. He's got a gun. We caught.
No, not yet. We ain't. Not by an old scarecrow with a rusty horse pistol.
Put up your hands. I'm going to call the police. You've done something to the boss.
Okay, we'll put up our hands. Light from me, Will.
Oh!
Shut him.
We gotta get out of here in a hurry. No shots. Okay, here we are. Come on in.
But why did you make me come here? Why can't I go home?
You heard me. Come on in. That's better. Now, take off your hat and stay a while.
But I can't stay, Mike. My wife, she'll be worrying. I'll get home to her.
You got other things than your wife to worry about, chum.
What do you mean, Mike?
I mean the cops. Or have you forgotten you're wanted for murder?
No, I haven't forgotten. I'll never be able to forget. Why did you kill him? Why?
Well, it was either kill them or go to jail. Or would you rather have gone to jail, huh?
No, but I'm all mixed up. How did I get into this anyway?
You needed dough. That's how you got into this. And you got it, so now cut out the sob stuff.
Oh, why won't you let me go home? Why did you make me come here to your room?
You're here so you and me can have a little talk.
What kind of a talk?
Well, chum, that door and that safe open. You and me got a future together.
Oh, I won't do it. I won't.
Sure you will. And always send a little note to the cops.
They'd get you, too.
I'd be a long ways off here. You got a sick wife. You can, they say. You don't think you can pull a job and go on as if nothing had happened. Somebody's always got to be another.
I did it only for a
minute now, and you can't get out. Wait.
I'll get it off my chest.
Oh, no, you do. You see, and if I thought... Hey, get it, go!
You got me into this. I'll take that gun away from me.
I'll put you out! Oh!
Mike. He's dead. I'm going to get away.
In a daze of horror, he made his way to the street. Thoughts which he could not control round in his head.
They'll hang me. But I had the money to make Mary. Now they'll catch me. They'll hang me. I've got to. Paid for somehow. But if you can escape, if you're lucky. I need a drink. I've got to have a drink before I go crazy.
So Edward Harrison stopped the street and struggling to control his shaking as normal. He ordered a double whiskey and got his senses cleared a little. He heard the radio at the end of the bar broadcasting a warning to the city.
Attention. The police stop for the following man. Committed in the Buxton Park. Please make a note of the following.
Say, buddy, what's the radio off for?
Because I was...
D? And I got a night I want to hear it. So I'm going to turn it back on again.
No, you mustn't.
But I'm going to. If you try your gun right here under the bar, see what that dirty killer looked like.
I repeat, beyond height, lean and wiry, with reddish-brown hair, in Buxton Park earlier this evening. Man reported once to... Now turn you back to our regular night owl program of popular dance tunes.
Lean and wiry with reddish-brown hair, huh? Well, that ain't you. You're heavy-set and black-haired. But for a minute there, you had me going. I was positive you was the killer the way you didn't want me to hear the description. I guess you're just jumpy, huh? Well, here, have another drink. On the house.
Thanks. I need some sleep. Yeah, that's what I need. Some sleep.
How close he had come to giving himself away. Edward Harrison hurried. Mike, the police were looking for, not Edward Harrison. And they had. Edward Harrison was safe. His own good luck, Edward was asleep. Quiet and troubled by nightmare. Mary was already preparing breakfast.
Good morning, darling. Who?
I was pretty late. I stopped at the shop. I was pretty late, a little work. I forgot to watch the time.
Oh, and this morning you look terrible. I know. You're worrying about me. Really, I am.
Of course you are. I'm going to see to that.
What do you think? Dr. Smith called up last night. He wanted to talk to you. Said he had some good news for you.
Good news?
Yes, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. I don't know why. He asked for you to stop in at his office this morning.
I think I know what it is. Yes, sure, I'll go right over and see him.
Oh, but darling, you're going to eat breakfast first, aren't you?
I'll eat when I get back. I want to see the doctor first. Anyway, I'm not very hungry.
Well, all right, Edward. But please hurry back. I want to know what the doctor says, too.
Yeah, sure, Mary. I'll be right back. But everything's okay now, darling. Everything's okay.
After he left the house, Edward bought a morning paper. Big headlines told of the murders the night before, but he scarcely saw them. His eyes hurried through the story until he found what he was looking for. The news that Mike's body had been found. The butler Mike had shot had given the police Mike's description and then died before he could tell them there was anyone with Mike. So the police had listed Mike's death as a suicide or an accident and closed the case. Edward Harrison was safe. Perfectly safe.
Safe. I'm safe. Mike was wrong. Sometimes you can get away with murder and not have to pay anything if you're lucky. And I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
When Edward Harrison entered my office, he sat down beside my desk and tossed a folded newspaper into the wastebasket. His expression was that of a man who had just faced disaster and been rescued at the last moment.
Good morning, Doctor. Mary said you'd phoned. You had good news.
Yes, Mr. Harrison, I called you last night after I got in touch with Dr. Richards. I wanted to tell you that he had agreed to operate on your wife.
Oh, that's swell, Doctor. And I've got the money right here in my pocket.
Money, yes. Yes, I was also going to tell you that Dr. Richards had said not to worry about it. You could take as long as you wanted to pay it.
As long as I wanted?
Yes.
Then I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Never mind, Doctor. I mean, I've got the money. I want to pay it. He's got to take it right away. Well, what's the matter? What are you looking at me like that for? The operation is going to save Mary's life, isn't it? You said it would. You can't go back on your word. You can, do you hear?
It's not that, Mr. Harrison. Yes, the operation would save your wife's life, but unfortunately, Dr. Richards was the only man in this country able to perform it.
Well, so what? He said he'd do it, didn't he? And I've raised the dough to pay him, so what's the hitch?
Mr. Harrison, Dr. Richards can't perform the operation now.
But you said...
He was tragically murdered last night by a burglar who broke into his home in Buxton Park. This is the mysterious traveler again. Did you enjoy our little trip into the life of a man who thought he could make good come out of evil? Poor Edward Harrison. He didn't believe that crime must always be paid for by someone, did he? What became of him? Well, after his wife died a few months later, he confessed everything to the police. He didn't have anything to live for, poor fellow. But I hope his experience will teach you that crime really doesn't pay. I always say that if... Oh, you're getting off at the next stop. I'm sorry. But perhaps we'll meet again soon. I take this same train every week.
You have just heard Chapter 42 of The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. In today's story, Death Laughs Last, Philip Clark played Edward Harrison, Carl Emery played Mike, and Elizabeth Morgan played Mary Harrison. The Mysterious Traveler is written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, and original music is played by Henry Silverne. The entire production is under the direction of Jock McGregor. And now, an important message for all of you.
This is Jock McGregor speaking. The National War Fund drive begins tomorrow. As you probably know, this fund includes over 22 of the major war relief and service organizations. As the war progresses on all fronts, more and more people will need help. Our armed forces, American prisoners of war, our allies, and people right here at home. And by giving to the National War Fund, you will be helping. Consider just one of the many organizations that the War Fund supports, the USO. More than 3,000 service units are in operation, clubs where our servicemen and women find recreation, dances, educational activities, reading, writing, and game rooms, and religious counsel. The USO is responsible for the Traveler's Aid desks, which help servicemen make connections and find sleeping accommodations. It operates the lounges in railroad and bus terminals. USO camp shows bring American entertainment to our troops at camps and stations throughout this country and in all the combat zones. Groups will play the jungle circuit in the South Pacific, the desert circuit in North Africa, the grass skirt circuit in the Hawaiian Islands, and the foxhole circuit in combat zones just behind the front lines. We can't measure in money the good accomplished by the USO, but we can help to continue that good work by giving our money the National War Fund. So when your community war fund or war chest representative calls on you, give and give generously.
Listen next time to a tale titled
The Man the Insects Hated.
Another tale of the Mysterious Traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented by WOR Mutual from the WOR studios in New York. Beginning Saturday, October 7th, The Mysterious Traveler will be heard at a new time. It will be presented every Saturday evening at 10:30 Eastern Wartime over most of these same stations. So remember the new time, 10:30 p.m., Saturdays.
This is Mutual.
Vic presents the Matinee Theater, starring Victor Jory in Random Harvest. Vic, the makers of Vicks Vapor Rub, Vicks Vatronol, Vicks Cough Drops, and Vicks Inhaler, brings you the Matinee Theater, starring Victor Jory and featuring Gertrude Warner in Random Harvest. Now, here's a good thing to remember when you catch a cold. The best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds is Vicks Vapor Rub.
James Hilton is one of the truly great authors of our time. From his pen has come such unforgettable stories as Goodbye, Mr. Chips, Lost Horizons, and the story from which our radio play is taken today, Random Harvest. Our play opens in England, in the study of that leader of English politics and finance, Charles Rainier, who sits writing a letter to his wife.
My dear wife, I am writing you this letter to tell you some of the things that I would otherwise find very difficult to put into words. It's not easy to say to your wife, there's been another woman, but I must say it. Yes, there's been two important women in my life. One is, of course, you, and the other is Paula. Let me tell you the things that I can remember about Paula, and let me tell you all the things that have suddenly become clear. To do that, I must go back to 1917. I was a different man then, a man without a name and without a past. I was weak and confused, a victim of shell shock, living at the hospital for such cases in Melbury. One morning in November, I was taking the regulation walk about the hospital grounds. As I neared the gate, the siren suddenly started screaming, and then a second, a third. The two guards at the gate left it and ran back towards the hospital. The gates were never locked. I pushed one of them open and went out. It was as simple as that. The streets were mobbed with people, and I got suddenly panicky. So I opened the first door I came to and stepped inside. I looked around and saw that I was in a small tobacco shop. There was a woman behind the counter, and she stared at me, gasped, and ran out of the room, and then someone spoke.
Hello there.
I turned around, and there was Paula.
You've got to get out of here, you know. She's gone to fetch one of the guards. She realized where you're from. That's why she ran like that. You were all from the asylum, aren't you?
Yes.
How did you get out?
The guards heard the siren and left the gates for a moment. I just walked out.
Do you know why the sirens were going?
No,
The war's over. Isn't that wonderful?
I don't know. I suppose it is.
Look, old boy, better get a move on. That woman will be coming back with a guard. Where do you want to go?
I suppose I ought to go back to the hospital.
Do you like it there?
No, I don't.
Well, then you shouldn't go back. How can you get well in the place when you're not happy there? Suppose I take you over to Biffer's Hotel. You can rest there and think things over. Biffer's a good friend of mine. He'll be glad to help you out. Here, let me take your arm. We'll take it slowly.
Somehow she got me to Biffer's and up to a small, clean room where I went to bed. When I awoke, it was morning, and she was standing there, looking down at me.
Good morning. I brought you some tea.
Thank you. You're very good to me.
My name's Paula Ridgway. I'm a dancer with a theatrical troupe. What's your name?
The doctors call me Smith. I don't remember what it should be.
I see. Well, I'm not much on formality, so I'll call you Smithy. Smithy, I've something to tell you. I've been talking to Biffer. Remember, I told you he was the proprietor of this hotel?
Yes.
Well, he's just lost his gardener, and he says he'll take you on. I think it might be good for you to have a quiet job in the fresh air.
Why are you so good to me?
I like you, Smithy. And somehow I feel, because I found you, that you belong to me.
And so I began work in the hotel gardens. Paul had to leave with a show, but they were playing near Melbury, and she managed to come to visit every Sunday. They were wonderful Sundays.
Smithy, darling, I talked Tessa into letting me fix a picnic lunch. We'll take the bicycles and go way back into the country.
Sunday after Sunday, we explored the countryside on wheel and foot. At first, I was hesitant about venturing from the hotel because I knew the hospital was searching for me, but gradually I got over that, as no one ever questioned me, and something that had been a cold, dead weight inside me vanished, and something warm and exciting took its place. I didn't realize what it was until one Sunday night when Paula was leaving. She looked up at me to say goodbye, and suddenly I wanted to kiss her.
I do hate to leave you.
I hate to have you go. You bring a lot of happiness with you, Paula.
I take a little happiness away.
You're so beautiful. Oh, Paula, there are so many things I would like to say to you.
Say them, Smithy. Say them.
No, Paula. Not now.
All right, Smithy. Have it your own way. Goodbye. See you next Sunday.
I knew I had hurt her, and I was sorry, but it was too beautiful to risk spoiling. And then, one Sunday evening, she came bursting into the greenhouse where I was working on some plants, and she was breathless and excited and frightened.
Oh, Smithy, you've got to leave here right away. There are 2 men from Melbourne talking to Biffa in the bar. They found out you're here. They say they must take you back to the hospital, Smithy.
Take me back to the hospital. Take me back to the hospital?
We'll run away. I'll pack your bag and meet you at our beech tree in a few minutes.
Paula ran to the house to get my things, and I stood there a moment, my heart pounding, my hands turned to ice. And then suddenly I was running. Not towards the beech tree, but towards the railroad station. I was in a panic. I was in a terror to escape. There was a train waiting in the station. I got aboard, and in a minute it started. Looking out the window, I saw Paula running, but I knew she was too late. The train moved off through the darkness faster and faster, and I said softly, "Goodbye, goodbye, Paula." And I felt a little like crying, even though I was free and at peace. Early in the morning, the train stopped at a small village called Beechings Over, and I got off there. I couldn't tell you why, except that the air was sweet with the scent of hay and flowers, and I crossed the stone bridge and turned off the road by a path that climbed a hill. Near at hand was a cottage with a buxom elderly woman tending a garden.
Good morning, sir. There'll be a nice view from the top of the hill this morning. You can see 5 counties on a clear day.
Oh, then I'll go right up. I'd like to see 5 counties this morning. I climbed to the top. I looked for almost an hour at those 5 counties glimmering through the morning mist. And then I stretched out under a tree and closed my eyes.
Well, Smithy?
Paula.
I thought you'd never wake up. I've been sitting here watching you for hours.
Paula.
Why did you run away from me, Smithy?
I wasn't running away from you. I was running away from everything. How did you ever find me up here?
I saw you get on the train, and I kept asking the porters at each station whether you'd got off. The porter at Beechings Over remembered you very well. And the woman at the foot of the hill told me you were up here looking at the 5 counties. But don't you know I'll always find you, Smithy? As long as you need me.
Paula, you've been so good and so generous. But I can do without you now, and I must.
Smithy, darling, what on earth do you have against me?
You really want to know that, Paula?
I've just got to know, Smithy.
All right, then. The only thing I have against you is that I'm in love with you.
You love me? Oh, Smithy, do you? Please don't joke about it. Because, you see, I've loved you ever since I first set up. Oh, Smithy, are you sure?
Oh, yes. I'm very sure. The one thing in my mind and my heart that I know is real now and for all time is you, Paula.
Oh, my darling, hold me close. Don't ever let me go. I love you so much.
But I've nothing to offer you.
I'm only asking for your love and your devotion.
It's not enough.
It's more than enough.
Oh, no. No, Paula, no. I can't wish marriage like on you. It isn't fair. It isn't right. When you say, I take this man, it has to mean something more than I take Smith, amnesia patient. I take Smith, a man without a home or a background, without family ties, without memories, without...
Stop it.
Paula, don't you see?
No, I don't see. Oh, Smithy, the past doesn't matter to us. This is a whole new lifetime for each of us now. This is the beginning of a love story. Smithy and Paula for now and forever. As long as we both shall live.
Oh, my darling. You're so sweet. So sweet.
Are you going to ask me to marry you? Or must I ask you?
Miss Ridgway, will you marry me?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I don't mind if I do.
We were married in London by a Parson Blampied that Paul had known since she was a little girl. I remember standing there in that small church, looking at Paula and thinking, you've brought me back from the dead. You've given me life and love and happiness. And I remember praying, dear God, please, don't ever let me bring grief or sadness into her life. Please let me make her happy.
And so, by the authority vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
We set up housekeeping in the parsonage. Reverend Blampied had far more rooms than he needed, and he said our company would be payment enough. Paula chose the rooms. 2 large attic ones with a view over the rooftops as far north as Hampstead. Ah, what fun we had. I can see her now, scrubbing and dusting and cleaning, a smudge on her nose and a glint in her eye, and Lord, she was beautiful.
Hand me that brush, Smithy. I don't want to get down off this ladder.
All right, Paula Smith.
Paula Smith. Oh, Smithy, I'm so sorry for all the women in the world who aren't married to you.
Oh.
You know, one of these days you're going to be famous. I found that story you were writing last night, and I read it. I hope you don't mind.
What did you think of it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Maybe that's what you were before. A writer.
Paula, I wonder if I'll ever find out what I was before.
You know, Smithy, I'm not sure I want you to anymore.
No? Why?
I might lose you. You might have some life in your past that wouldn't include me.
I couldn't live a life that didn't include you and be happy.
Oh, Smithy, I hope that's true. Here, help me down from the ladder. I want to kiss you. Hello, Mr. Smith.
Hello, Mrs. Smith. The days were days of incomparable beauty, days that began with Paula's laughter and ended with Paula's kiss. And one day those days came to their fullest beauty.
Smithy. Oh, Smithy, darling, wait until you hear. We're going to have a baby. Smithy, darling, we're going to have a baby.
Oh, Paula, my dear.
Oh, Smith, God has given us everything in the world now.
God has given me everything in the world.
In just a moment, Act 2 of Random Harvest, starring Victor Jory. In this day and age, you've got to take your hat off to most mothers. Nowadays, when children come down with colds, these mothers don't waste a minute wondering what to do about it. The modern way they use to relieve miseries of colds is to rub good old Vicks Vapor Rub on throat, chest, and back. Because they have found from personal experience that the moment you rub on Vapor Rub, its relief-giving action starts right to work in the very places where distress is. It helps relieve congestion and irritation in the upper breathing passages, the coughing spasms, sore throat, and that muscular soreness or tightness. Vapor Rub is so effective because it penetrates into the cold, congested upper bronchial tubes with its special soothing medicinal vapors, and at the same time, it stimulates chest and back surfaces like a comforting, warming poultice. And Vapor Rub keeps right on working for hours to bring comforting relief. And always remember, only Vapor Rub gives you this special penetrating, stimulating action. The best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds is Vicks Vapor Rub.
And now the second act of Random Harvest, starring Victor Jory and featuring Gertrude Warner. We return to the study where Charles Rainier continues with the letter to his wife.
Yes, my dear, there have been two women in my life. One was you and the other was Paula. Perhaps you'll think it strange my writing you about Paula, but I want you to know all that I remember and cherish about that other lifetime that I lived with her. I was going to have a son, and I wanted desperately to give that son a name and a heritage. I spent part of every day writing. I used to take everything I wrote to Reverend Blampy. He liked some of my stories and sent them to a friend of his who was a publisher in Liverpool. And one day...
Smithy, I just had a letter from Mr. Lamb in Liverpool.
Yes?
He thinks your stories show remarkable promise. He's going to buy them.
Oh, say, that's wonderful.
He wants you to come to Liverpool to talk to him tomorrow.
Oh. Well, I'll talk to Paula about it tonight. I don't like to leave it.
Oh, Paula wants you to go.
Yes, I know she will. I'll talk to her. Paula, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you looking like that? Don't you want me to go to Liverpool?
Yes, of course. It's just that...
Yes?
Oh, Smithy, you've never gone away from me before. And I'm frightened. I don't even know why I'm frightened except that I had a dream.
What kind of a dream?
I dreamt I held out my arms to you, and you didn't know me. I kept saying over and over, Smithy, it's Paula. But you wouldn't look at me. And I woke up crying.
Oh, darling. Darling, surely you aren't going to let a dream upset you.
Oh, Smith, I couldn't bear to lose you.
You aren't going to lose me. Don't you remember Smithy and Paula for now and forever as long as we both shall live? That's the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be.
I'm sorry, darling. Of course it's right for you to go to Liverpool. You must go. Don't pay any attention to my moods. Part of having a baby, I guess. Like wanting strawberries out of season.
Do you know something, Paula Smith? I love you very much. And I'll be back from Liverpool before you know it. I remember very clearly what happened that day. I was in a great hurry to get to the publisher's office because I wanted to get back to Paula as soon as possible. And I remember that I stepped from the Liverpool station out into the street. It was slippery. I stepped off the curb before I saw the car speeding toward me. I tried to run, but I slipped and fell. I heard the screech of brakes and shouts, and then I saw nothing and I felt nothing. I came to my senses lying on a park bench in the Liverpool fog. And I knew as I struggled to my feet that my name was Charles Rainier, and that my family estate was in Sturton. But I remembered nothing of being Smith, or of Paula, nothing of any marriage or an approaching child. All I did know was that I had a headache, that I'd been fighting in France, that I'd been a long time getting home. I picked up my life. I picked up the life I'd lived before the war. Business, friends, family. But I was never happy, never at peace. For I knew from the medical records that there were 2 years in my life after I was wounded that were unaccounted for, and those 2 years continually tantalized and tormented me. And then at the time when I needed you most, you came into my life. You had a smile that went straight to my heart. You had eyes that seemed to understand everything that was troubling me. You became my secretary and then my wife, and we were married in the cathedral. I stood there watching you, wanting to cry from sheer heartache as I listened to the sacred old words.
And so, by the authority vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
I found myself praying, "Dear God, please let me make her happy." And the words burned inside me, and somehow with a sudden shock, I knew I'd said those words before, standing beside another girl in some other time. I knew I could find that girl. So you and I, my dear, began our lives together like two courteous strangers. I divided my time between the office trying to tie together elusive threads of memory to find the reason why certain places tugged at me. A big barn of a parsonage that I passed once in London. I went back to it, only to find that its last tenant, a Parson Blampede, had died some time back. Train schedules that I spent hours studying and always going back to the name of Beeching's Over, and never knowing why. Newspapers that I read column by column, hunting for something familiar. And finally, one night, reading the name Melbury and knowing that I had to go there. I found it hard to tell you when you asked me where I was going so late at night. I just said, I'm going to Melbury and perhaps to a town named Beeching's Over. You got a little white, but you didn't try to stop me. And once more I thought what a really nice person you were and how sad it was that there were shadows between us. I arrived at Melbury around midnight. A policeman came over to the car.
Looking for somebody, sir?
Why, yes. Yes, I am. Isn't there a hospital here?
Yes, sir. We have a new one and an old one, sir.
I think I'm after the old one. It's on a hill, isn't it? It has big gates and a highway around it. Yes, I'm sure it has.
That don't sound like either of the hospitals.
No?
Let's see. Oh, you wouldn't be meaning the asylum, would you, sir?
Asylum? Oh, yes. Yes, I think I do mean the asylum.
I'll tell you the way to get
No, don't bother. Thank you just the same. I know the way. I drove straight to the gates, and I stopped the car and got out, and once more I could hear the sirens. Once more I heard shouts of people cheering the armistice, and I walked down the hill the same way I'd walked in that other lifetime, down the street and around the corner of the tobacco shop, and gradually the mist began to clear, and gradually pictures began to form, and it all came back.
We've got to get out of here, you know. She's gone to fetch one of the guards. You are from the asylum, aren't you? How can you get well in a place when you're not happy there? Suppose I take you over to Biff's Hotel. My name's Paula Ridgway. I'm a dancer with a theatrical troupe. What's your name? There are two men from Melbury Hospital talking to Biffa in the bar. They say they must take you back to the hospital, Smithy.
Good morning, sir. There'll be a nice view from the top of the hill this morning. You can see 5 counters on a clear day.
This is the beginning of a love story. Smithy and Paula, from now and forever. Smithy, darling, we're going to have a baby. Oh, we're going to have a baby. I'm frightened. I had a dream you didn't know me. I kept saying over and over, Smithy, it's Paula. But you must go to Liverpool. I'll be waiting, my darling. I'll be waiting, my darling.
I stood there, all these things running through my mind, and then I ran to my car and I started down the hill. Somewhere, somehow, I must find Paula Smith. I yelled to the policeman, what's the quickest way to Beeching's Over?
Straight down the road until you come to the road going west. You turn off there.
I was on my way before he'd finished giving directions. I didn't stop to think what the chances would be of finding Paula at Beeching's Over. I only knew it next stop on my journey. I arrived early in the morning, and there, God bless her, was the old woman, a little plumper, a little grayer.
Good morning, sir. Are you going up to look at the 5 counters again?
You remember me?
I remember most people.
Do you remember there was a girl, she She came to get me that day.
Paula Smith? Aye, she comes here every once in a while, she does. Spends a lot of time looking down at the 5 counties. But then lots of folks do.
Where does she live? Where can I find her?
I couldn't say, sir. But if she comes again, I'll tell her you was asking for her.
And once more I climbed to the top, and once more I stood there watching the fogs melt away below me, drinking in the sweet, cool morning mist, watching the sunrise, and then something made me turn, and I saw you running up the hill, and you were Paula Smith. And then I knew who it was who had taken my hand and helped me back to Melbury, and the beaching was over. Then I knew that there had only been one woman in my life. And though I thought I'd lost her, she'd always been beside me. And I ran to meet you. And we stood there above the 5 counties crying and laughing like people who had just come into the kingdom.
Smithy. Oh, Smithy, darling.
Hello, Paula Smith.
Oh, Smithy. I've waited so long to hear you say that. I've waited so long.
I know, but it's all right now, darling. The riddle's solved. The random years are at an end. Oh, my dear, I've so much to make up to you.
It's all made up now.
Paula, how did you ever manage to trace me after that accident in Liverpool?
I saw your picture in a London paper. It said, Charles Vanier returns. I knew right away what had happened. I came to London and applied for the job as your secretary right after the baby died. I never told you who I was because I didn't want you to have another riddle to worry about. Somehow I was sure the day would come when you would know me and want me again.
There's nothing for me to say except thank you. God bless you.
There's one more thing, Mr. Smith.
I love you, Mrs. Smith. I will love you forever.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. That's what I wanted to hear.
Come on, darling. Let's go home.
Right you are, Smithy. Right you are.
In just a moment, a word from Victor Jory. You know, a lot of things you buy and use are not what they were before the war. But that is not true of Vicks Vapor Rub. There are no wartime substitutes in the Vapor Rub you buy. It is the same expert formula, the same high quality, the very same Vapor Rub that has won the confidence of mothers and has become a family standby in so many millions of homes. Yes, my friends, there are no wartime substitutes in the Vapor Rub you buy. It is the same fine, effective formula that is the best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds. And the cost to you is the same, too. Time-tested, home-proved, Vicks Vapor Rub.
This is Victor Jory, and next week, in response to your request, Vicks brings you Vicks Matinee Theater production of the exciting story, Reap the Wild Wind. The following week, the request play that leads all others according to the mail count, David Selznick's masterful picture, Rebecca. Be sure and write to me in care of Columbia Broadcasting, 22, New York, and tell me what plays you'd like to hear.
Random Harvest was adapted by Gene Holloway from the novel by James Hilton and was directed by Richard Sanville. The role of Paula was played by Gertrude Warner. Music for this series is under the direction of Mark Warno. Be sure to be with us next week when Vicks, the makers of Vicks Vapor Rub, Vicks Vatronol, Vicks Cough Drops, and Vicks Inhaler, brings you the matinee theater production of Reap the Wild Wind, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, a chance to spend half an hour in the company of the team who run the least visited country house in England. Simon Callow, Jane Horrocks and Miles Jupp star in a brand new comedy, Plum House.
Oh, hello. Have you been booked under the name Tom Collier?
You American?
No.
All right, get in.
Sorry, but are you waiting for Tom Collier? Only I think they might have booked me a taxi.
Well, I am the only taxi, pal. No one's rung me in days. Had to ring it myself. Check my phone was still working. Hop in. Whoa. Jump in the front. I've just cleaned the back.
Right. Yeah, better.
OK, then. Where to?
The George Pudding Museum, please.
Right. Where's that?
I was hoping you might know.
Never heard of it.
I think it's at a place called Plum House.
Oh, bloody hell, you don't want to go there. I mean, World of Kettles is good. Do you like kettles?
No, see, I've really got to...
But tell me the hygiene's much improved at the gingerbread experience.
Sorry, please. I do need to get to Plum House.
All right, fair enough. I've not taken anyone there in a while. Then I just got my licence back.
Plum House by Ben Cotton and Paul McKenna.
I'm sure you're wondering why I've called you here for this meeting, Julian. And to be entirely honest with you, so am I. Why are we here?
I don't know, Peter. It just says emergency meeting in your diary.
When did I write it in?
I don't know. About a month ago?
I see. Funny sort of emergency.
You don't think it was anything to do with the accounts?
Why would I care about the accounts, Julian?
Because you're the curator of the museum, Peter, and I hate to say it, but technically you're in charge of them.
Am I?
Yes.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Only at some point it would be great to go through them with you. As I've said before, they are in a terrible...
Julian, I don't want to get bogged down in numbers, old chap. The captain of the ship, he steers by the stars and the wind. He can't be below deck all the time counting the biscuits. So I'll continue to leave things in the capable hands of my #1 cabin boy.
As you wish.
So I said leave, see if I care. So she did. She went to Spain the next day. Now it's just me at the house, wandering around, nobody to talk to.
Right. Do you think you'll ever see her again?
Probably not. Maybe I'll send her a Mother's Day card. So, why are you visiting Plum House? You don't look much like a tourist. You know, shirt and tie, no cagoule.
Well, I work for the National Heritage Trust, and between us, the museum hasn't been doing too well recently.
I don't think that's much of a secret. The abattoir gets more visitors.
So, I'm here to try and help fix things.
You into your food?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
That petrol station there does a lovely sandwich.
Maybe it's a royal visit?
No, it can't be a royal visit. We wouldn't forget a second time.
No, Prince Edward was most upset. He's furious, shaking.
Have you lot seen a box of fridge magnets? It's a box full of fridge magnets.
Not now, Maureen. We're having an emergency meeting.
What about?
Would that we knew.
Well, if you're looking for an emergency, my fridge magnets need finding.
I really don't think locating your fridge magnets is our first priority, Maureen.
Well, what about my fudge, then? We're running very low, and a lot of what we've got's out of date. We don't want to get a reputation like that gingerbread place.
We are popular today.
Hiya, Peter. Can I have a word?
Alan, my door is always open.
Do you want me to take a look at the hinges?
Peter, look, what's wrong, Alan?
I've got a mole problem.
And what colour are they, Alan? If they're purple, you should see a doctor. The one show said that.
No, the sneaky underground type. We might need to buy some traps.
Can't you just shoot them?
No, Peter, you can't do that.
That'll be the EU, that will. Saying you can't shoot moles anymore.
No, they're too clever. They know when I'm about.
Yes, look, I'm sure we can buy you some traps, but right now we're having an important emergency meeting.
You wouldn't happen to know what it's about, would you, Alan?
Hey, it's not...
Yes?
Well, no, it couldn't be to do with...
Go on.
Well, it's my birthday today.
Many happy returns. Another ring on your trunk.
It's not an emergency birthday, though, is it, Alan?
Well, I don't think so. It's the same as I have every year.
Well, if you find a box of fridge magnets lying around, don't go thinking it's a present for you. They're mine.
Doing anything special, Alan?
Well, I am, actually, and I can't wait. I'm having a bonfire.
Here you are. The Addams family mansion.
Thanks very much.
I'll be £7.50. I'll do your receipt, shall I?
Yeah, that'd be great, thanks.
There you go. Sorry, it's on a beer mat. It's either that or a wet wipe.
That's all right. Keep the change.
Oh, cheers. Call me if you're ever in trouble. I'm usually quicker than the police. Definitely the fire brigade.
Oh, actually, there was one more thing I was... Oh.
Yeah, no, that's...
Hello! Is there anybody here?
Tell you what, Julian, why don't you pop your pinny on and make us all a cup of tea?
Yeah, that'd be nice, Julian.
Just a Ribena for me.
But I'm not here to make the tea, Peter. And we still haven't found out what the emergency is.
Is thirst not an emergency? Don't forget the macaroons.
Here's where you're all hiding.
Go and put the kettle on, Emma.
Just a Ribena for me, Tar.
I'm afraid the minibus party this afternoon have cancelled.
Oh, good. The last thing we need is awful members of the public walking round with hats and bags and leaving dirty footprints.
Why is everyone in here?
Put the kettle on, love, and we'll fill you in.
Wait a minute. It's the boy. The beautiful boy from London is coming.
What boy?
He's not the fudge inspector, is he?
He's top talent from the Trust. He's coming to help me.
But I help you, Peter. I'm the assistant curator. Why was I not told about this?
Maybe you'll be making the tea from now on, Julian.
Ribena for me, thanks.
I just don't believe this.
Julian, will you please be calm? You are still my number 2, the Major Johnny to my Fanny. And you always will be, the new chap simply coming to help us cross the I's and dot the T's.
What time is he getting here, Peter?
Sometime today, I think. It could be later this afternoon, or it could be...
Hello? Sorry to interrupt. There was no one on reception.
I'm afraid this area is out of bounds to members of the public. We don't take kindly to...
I'm Tom Collier from the Trust.
Oh, God.
The boys are arrived. Let joy sound like a heavenly trumpet.
Hello, Peter. I'm Tom.
Ah, you always know where you are with the Thomas. Thomas Aquinas, Thomas à Becket...
Thomas Cook.
Yes, I'm Julian, assistant curator.
And this is Maureen, who runs our gift shop.
Hiya. If you see a box of fridge magnets, they're mine, so don't go fiddling.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is Alan, handyman extraordinaire.
It's my birthday. I'm having a bonfire.
All right. Well, happy birthday.
And this is Emily, who's just joined us.
Emma, and I've been here 6 months. I'm the education officer.
Oh, lovely.
How about a tour?
Oh, yes, that would be great.
Would you like a tea? Julian's just making some.
Ribena for me, thanks.
Pudding, 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 Tom. We're starting with pudding. Aren't we naughty boys? How familiar are you with George Pudding?
Oh, not very. I'm assuming this, waxwork is him?
Yes, the great man himself.
So he used to wear an eye patch?
No, we added that. His eye kept falling out. What could you do?
Glue it back in?
George Pudding, 1779 to 1848. Poet, painter, philosopher, beekeeper, nudist. Oh, how he was stung.
He sounds like quite a character.
And yet history has chosen to leave him behind. Why, we've all heard the jokes, Tom, the barbs, the funny comments. George Pudding on a good day is as good as Wordsworth on a day off. Yes, thank you very much, Germaine Greer, De Montfort University, the Internet.
He was gay, wasn't he? That's what everyone seems to know about him.
Pudding was no homosexual. Why must this rumour follow him around? He was in love with his sister. Is she not a woman?
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was not gay. He definitely wasn't.
I'm sorry.
Ah, here we have one of his finest paintings, The Happy Shepherd Boy.
He doesn't look very happy.
Well, that's to be expected. He's lost his trousers.
And is that Pudding spying on him from behind the wall?
Yes, with a telescope. Clever old George.
Oh, I thought you were a customer.
Steady on, Maureen.
Is that what I think it is?
Well, it's addressed to you, at any rate.
Give it here, then.
All right, no need to snatch. Sure we've got ample time before this month's customer arrives.
Oh, my fridge magnets! These are Bobby Dazzlers. What do you think?
There are 2 D's in pudding, Maureen.
No, there's... Whoever's going to notice. Not everyone's a professor.
Fine, doesn't matter. I need to get rid of something.
What, that Tom? Make it look like an accident?
No, I need to use your shredder. I have a few items to get rid of, you know. Confidential letters, invoices, the accounts.
It's broken. Didn't like those George Pudding calendars.
Not one of Peter's better ideas.
What, isn't Alan having a bonfire?
Oh, you mean...
Burnham?
Have you ever looked into that, Peter? It can be quite lucrative. After Downton Abbey, they...
This is our library cum staff room. You must be very quiet in here, old chap.
I thought we were going to your office.
I'm just going to show you our state-of-the-art CD-ROM computer system first. I would use it myself, but I'm afraid I don't have the necessary qualifications. Ah, but it looks like Emma's beaten us to it.
Hello, Emma. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just trying to update the website, but I can't seem to connect to the internet.
I haven't seen a computer like this in a while.
Is that a floppy disk drive?
I'm not too good with computers, to be honest. But this isn't part of my job. I'm just helping out Julian. He's the one in charge of the website.
I actually used to have a computer just like this when I was at school. Do you mind if I have a go? And just stick that on, I think. Yep, yeah, that should connect now.
Ah, the sweet sound of progress.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Have you ever thought about setting up an online shop, Peter?
We've gone one step better, Thomas. Come on, let me show you our gift shop.
Psst.
Julian, how did you get in here?
Slipped in under cover of modem.
You've just made me look a complete fool in front of Tom.
This is the workplace, not the flirt place.
Don't be ridiculous. You wouldn't know a workplace if you'd worked in one for 15 years, which you have.
I don't have time for this.
What are you doing?
Taking the account someplace else.
What for?
I'm going to file them once and for all.
Seriously, Peter, you could have weddings in here. Be lovely in summer. A string quartet.
Who gets married in a museum? I think you've been reading too much science fiction, Thomas. It isn't 2050, you know. It's, this way. Kitchen. Nothing to see. Pots and pans and things, cast iron. Never been sure what that is. All very dull. Ah, the staircase. Much better. Come on, race you to the top.
Really? Right, yeah, coming.
Well, we're into the home straight. And it's victory for Roger Bannister! Hurrah!
Well, yeah, you had a head start. Peter?
No, not to worry, Tom. Just gone a little lightheaded. A touch woozy.
Are you okay?
I soon will be. Here it is. The bedroom.
Oh, this is nice. Four-poster bed. From the look of it, French? Late 18th century?
Yes, it is. You'll like working here, I think, Tom. You'll find that those working under me are afforded, how shall I put it, certain privileges.
And that's a walnut headboard, isn't it? Yeah, so that's quite unusual.
Come on, Tom. Haven't you always wanted to jump the velvet rope?
Is there much more to see? Well, where does that door lead to?
Mon appartement. I could show you round there, if you'd prefer. The bed's certainly comfier.
Well, what if we went to your office, Peter, and had a little chat about why I'm here?
Is that Julian outside with a wheelbarrow?
Alan, got some kindling for your fire.
That's very kind of you. It'll burn nicely, that will.
Right, come on then, get a lit.
Whoa. Now, we can't light it yet.
Why not?
Because the wind is blowing the wrong way, and if we light it now, you'll smoke out the museum.
Look, I'm sure it'll be fine. Where are the matches?
Steady on a minute, Mr. Julian. I've not finished building it. And I don't mean to be rude, but, well, it was meant to be my birthday treat. Oh, here comes Peter and the new fella. This is turning into quite the birthday party.
Oh, crumbs.
Where's Julian running off to, Alan?
I don't know, Mr. Knight. I have to say, he does seem in a very strange mood.
Pressure of work getting to him, no doubt.
Busy day, Alan?
Not especially. I've lead-lined the roof, cleaned the drains, rewired the interactive display so it actually now lights up.
Blimey, what?
Draft-proof that library window and remove some asbestos. And I'm just going to have this fire soon, you know, as a birthday treat.
Fantastic.
Then I'll get back to restoring that furniture.
Wow, well, and are you not going for a birthday drink later or anything?
No.
Well, maybe we should all go for a drink. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Splendid. Your bright ideas are changing the place already.
Well, I don't know about that. Although I really would like to have that chat in your office now, Peter.
Always trying to get me on his own, isn't he, Alan? Good job I'm eager to please. Come on, then. Back to base.
I can still have my fire, can't I?
Believe it or not, Tom, this office used to be Pudding's music room. Oh, he was quite the composer.
Oh, I see.
Have you ever heard Pudding's Flute Sonata in C-flat?
Well, no, I haven't, but can we maybe just...
Allow me to flaunt with you.
Wonderful. Can we discuss... Peter. No, Peter! Can we just discuss why I'm here?
Oh, you should have said, naughty Peter. Time to put my flute away.
Right, well, the Trust are a little worried about Plum House and the way it's being run.
So they've sent their hangman.
Well, now, please don't call me that. You know, they're just aware that you haven't been making much money for a while now. And so they've sent me to help with some ideas and maybe suggestions for how to run Plum House a bit more efficiently.
Tom. It always seems to be about ideas and efficiency with you trust people. Show me your passion.
Oh, I am passionate, Peter. Oh, believe me. Yeah, people laughed when I went to Tiverton Hat Museum. But are they laughing now? It's an award-winning hat museum. I'm going to help you put this museum on the map.
That'd be good. The tourist board left us off last year. Visitor numbers were down, I think. Maybe up. People like a treasure hunt, don't they?
If we all pull together, Peter, I know we can turn this place around. It's all about attention to detail.
Well, I can assure you that nothing goes on here without my knowing, Tom. You'd have to wake up very early in the morning to catch out Uncle Peter. We're talking 10 o'clock here. 10:30 on weekends.
Come on, the wind's changed direction now, Alan.
It hasn't, Mr. Julian. It's just blowing harder.
I need to light it before Tom comes out again.
But it'll smoke the house out.
Light it, Alan. That's a direct order as you're commanding. Just light it.
It's my birthday bonfire.
Give me those matches.
Would you care for a macaroon?
Would you care to hear one of my ideas?
I prefer macaroons, but go on.
What about an exhibition?
Bit populist, don't you think? We don't want to go flashing our knickers.
Well, when I was at Tiverton Hat Museum, we organised a big exhibition called Hats More Like It. It was the third most visited exhibition in Tiverton that April. We could have one here. Call it By George or something.
We're above puns here, Tom.
We could get a celebrity to open it. Jamie Theakston's always free. We need a little bit more notice for David Gower.
Who are they?
Well, is there a celebrity you prefer?
Tricky one. My head says Joan Bakewell, but my heart says Michael Portillo.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a launch party and get the local press along. Get your photo in the paper.
Gosh, Tom, we're on fire.
I haven't even started yet.
No, it appears Alan's bonfire might have got a bit out of hand.
Well, should we be panicking? There's a lot of smoke.
No, I'm sure if it was that bad, it would have set off the... Yeah. Well, it's been quite a day. A day of heroes. Julian calling the fire brigade. Plum House is on fire. Sirens blaring through the valley. Maureen's masterful visitor evacuation. Admittedly, we had no visitors, but still, good work. And our new girl, Alice. Emma, calming the fire brigade down when they pointed out that the museum wasn't on fire, but rather a bonfire was. And, of course, who can forget my daring re-entry of the smoke-filled museum to retrieve my umbrella when it started raining. Anyway, I feel I must say a few words about why we are all here tonight. Stand up, old chap.
Oh, thank you.
No, Alan, not you. Stand up, Thomas.
I mean, actually, Peter, I might just stay sat down if that's all right.
As you will. Tom has had a meteoric career in museum administration, nothing to do with hats. And we are very lucky to have him. He is, as they say, quite the hot property. The hot ticket. A hot cake. So, yes, on behalf of our small, happy family, I want to welcome him into our warm and loving embrace.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, some of you are probably a little nervous. Oh, dear, is Tom going to be changing things? Well, of course Tom's going to be changing things, but only a little. Like when Faber and Faber changed the design of their ampersand. I thought I'd never cope. But one eventually becomes accustomed to these things. It's like walking around in high-heeled shoes or something. You're wobbly at first, but you're soon riding a bike in them. Yeah, anyway, I know what you're thinking. We can't get to know Tom while old fuddy-duddy daddy bear Peter is milling around, so I will bid you all adieu. I'm off for a spot of pudding in bed. I'll see you all bright and early tomorrow morning. Farewell!
Would anybody like a drink?
I don't like him, Maureen. He's going to change things around here.
Not the C word.
He's got the C word written all over him.
He looks like he's going to install a wheelchair ramp. He's got that look about him. They're the ones you have to watch. Not the ones in wheelchairs. The ones who want to do things for people in wheelchairs.
What if he starts sacking people?
Well, that jumped-up little so-and-so thinks I'm going anywhere. He's got another thing.
I've got you both another drink.
Is it true that you're going to be sacking people?
Me? No, I'm just here to try and help you guys, not get rid of you.
Right, because there's just been talk, that's all.
Maureen. Honestly, nobody's getting sacked. Now, I'd better take these drinks over to Alan and Emma, so if you'll excuse me.
There's actually two different types, wood tar and coal tar.
They didn't have any Ribena, Alan, so I've got you half a bitter. I mean, it is your birthday.
Tom, sit down. Alan's just been telling me all about creosote.
Oh, right. Well, sounds fascinating.
Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice with the whole chatting to people thing. I haven't had a night off since 1982.
What happened in 1982?
Well, I wanted to watch the television to see if we'd won the Falklands War. Well, we had. So I went back and replaced some skirting boards.
Wow. Oh, this beer's quite strong.
The Goblin's Horn. It's a nicer pint than the Club Dancer.
Are you into your ales?
Not really. I didn't drink at all until I started working for Peter.
It can't be that bad.
Well, I don't feel like the most valued member of staff. 6 months in and he still introduces himself to me every day. Sometimes twice a day.
Oh, flipping heck.
Alan, what's wrong?
Oh, I forgot to set my mole traps.
Another drink, Tom?
I feel a little bit drunk.
You've only had 3, and you didn't finish the last one.
Where are you taking me?
Back to my house.
Really?
Peter says you'll be staying in the cottage for a while, sleeping with me.
Oh, right.
Sleeping on the sofa, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, look at the moon!
Oh, wow. Have you ever heard the George Pudding poem Shepherd's Moon?
Emma, I can't say that I have.
Full and round and lovely and white, that heavenly orb keeps me up all night. No sweet dreams can be found in my head when old Mr. Moon leaves me tossing in bed.
Beautiful.
You are drunk.
Is anybody aware of his location?
He was still asleep when I left him.
Oh, Julia, Judith, Edith...
Emma.
I don't like him, Peter. He's got trouble written all over him. He wants to install wheelchair ramps. Where are they going to go? Who's going to pay for them?
Now, Maureen, come on.
I hate to say it, Peter, but Maureen might have a point.
If he had his way, this museum will be all ramps and no staff members. Apart from him, sat on his throne with a ramp.
And we should count ourselves lucky he never got to see the accounts.
What do you mean?
Let's just say I've been cooking the books, and I'm not the most attentive chef. I burnt them.
That's my boy. Using a bit of the old pudding logic.
Right, but you do know I'd already faxed them through.
What? When?
Yesterday. I have to fax the accounts through to the Trust every quarter.
Oh, good God.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Who bothers looking at the accounts?
Yeah, hello.
Finally. I was trying to get hold of you yesterday.
I'm sorry, who's this?
It's Charles.
Charles, I'm sorry, it must have been a bad signal or something. Yeah, I meant to ring you, only I've been getting to know the place. You know, meeting all the staff.
Oh, well, don't get too attached. We got the latest accounts through yesterday, and it's worse than we feared. I mean, it's impossibly bad.
No, I agree. That's why I'm coming up with some great ideas. They do seem very open to change.
They aren't going to be open at all at this rate. We need to cut costs immediately, so get your guillotine out and have a head rolling by the end of the day.
You want me to fire somebody? No, I barely know these people. And I've told them that...
Tom, we don't want another Tiverton Hat Museum disaster.
But, Charles...
Someone needs to go by the end of the day.
Yes, Charles.
I would say let's start this meeting without him, but I can't seem to find my agenda.
Julian's probably burnt it.
Emma.
I remember when I lost my wheelbarrow. That turned up.
There you go. A nice happy ending.
It was missing its wheel, made it hard to borrow.
Sorry, I'm late.
Here he is. Champagne Charlie. Every night, was it?
Take no notice, Tom. Couple of sherries and I'm anyone's.
I'm just exhausted from yesterday.
Why don't you go back to bed?
You surprise me, Tom. I thought a city slicker like you would be in your element in our fast-paced working environment. Now, is there any pressing news? Points for discussion?
I caught a mole this morning. Good job I set that trap.
I'll call the local paper.
Good idea. Nice bit of publicity. Building bridges with journalists, too. Social media in action, eh, Tom?
Yeah, I need to speak to you alone, Peter, actually, urgently.
Oh, dear. Have I been a naughty boy? I could cut back on my macaroons if that helps.
Peter, you're going to have to get rid of someone.
Oh, I see.
And I'm so sorry.
Well, obviously certain people aren't eligible for being released.
Who?
I couldn't survive without Julian. He's my right-hand man, the hen to my cock.
But what about Maureen?
In our orchestra, Maureen is the timpani. Sometimes you need timpani, Tom. Boom, 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 boom.
But she does run a gift shop that no one goes in.
I can't sack her on a technicality. Have a heart, old chap.
Well, who else, then?
What about losing the new girl, that thingamajig?
Emma, but she's the only person in the museum who seems to do any work.
Yes, Alan has always struck me as being rather lazy. But then I'm not entirely sure if we even pay Alan.
Well, then I guess that just leaves...
No, that's everyone.
Well, okay, well, yeah, but apart from you, of course.
Tom, I'm indispensable. The leading expert on all things pudding. I've been here 28 years. I am the egg that binds this whole pudding museum together. And my wife likes living upstairs very much.
When you're married?
Also, I went to prep school, college and university with a number of very senior trust figures.
I see. Then I guess there's only one person we can lose.
It's a shame you're going. It's been such a brief visit.
Yeah, well, they need me back at headquarters, apparently. Can't have their star player always out on loan.
Sure. If that's your story. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I really thought you were going to be the guy to finally turn this place around.
Yeah. So did I, actually.
He's really getting in the car, Peter.
That's a shame. Such potential. I do so enjoy developing young talent.
He's fired himself. I mean, who does that? Can I have the last macaroon?
If you must. Though, stick them on the shopping list.
Another crate, Peter?
Why not? It'll work out cheaper.
I just couldn't do it. I thought I'd rather go back and hand my notice in. I don't want to be the guy that breaks them up.
Yeah, so you bottled it.
Well, I tried my best.
It's only been a day, mate.
It was quite a day.
Thing I don't get is, you go and hand your notice in. That won't change how bad the museum is, will it?
No.
They're still going to be losing money.
Yeah, I guess.
So surely they're just going to send somebody else up to sort it out who definitely will sack people.
I didn't really think this through.
Hey, that girl's still waving.
Oh, is she?
I don't believe it, the car's turning around.
My goodness, the boy, the beautiful boy is coming back.
Hopefully he's just forgotten something.
I could tell he was enjoying himself. Go and put the kettle on, Julian.
Plum House was written by Ben Cottam and Paul McKenna. It starred Simon Callow, Jane Horrocks and Miles Jupp, with Tom Bell, Piers Quigley, Louise Ford and Rob Jarvis. It was produced by Sarah Cartwright and directed by Paul Schlesinger. It was a hat-trick production for the BBC.
Just before the summer, I was feeling very low. I took myself to a doctor, to a specialist I go. He told me I was run down, that I should take a rest. He said go to the mountains, he thought that would be best. So off to the mountains I go. But did I get a rest? Oh no. I went to a place called Lipschitz Lakeside Villa Hacienda in the Pines in Peaceful Valley. It looked so peaceful and quiet when I arrived. I said, Mo, this is for me. So I unpacked and was just about to lay down for a rest when suddenly over the loudspeaker I heard, activity, ladies and gentlemen, the program of activities is about to begin. But is there any activity besides the dining room? Hey, social director, what is this program of activities?
Are you kidding? Don't you know we've got the best program of activities in the mountains?
But who wants activities? I came here for peace and quiet. I need a rest.
Nobody rests while I'm around.
Activity. Activity. All day long and all night long it's activity. 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 There's no rest for any guest. It's activity. Calisthenics, exercise, and on a hike I go. Usually there's 40 women, I'm the only schmo. Tennis lesson, swimming lesson, make a box till noon, then activity in the dining room. After lunch it's baseball, then down the lake I go. Take a swim, take a girl and roll and roll and roll. Find a nice secluded spot along the lake, it's best, then activity. Who's got time to rest? Back from the lakefront to my room I go. just to take a little rest for an hour or so. In the bathroom, I relax, I'm all alone, and then activity, here I go again. Supper time is Essen time, and Essen, that's for me. I don't know just where I'll put it, but I'll try and see. Now that supper's over, I'm just about to fall. Activity all down the social hall. Take a girl, dance around to the rumba beat. Make a box till I'm almost dead upon my feet. Grab a girl, take a walk in the woods, and then activity, there I go again. So after 2 weeks vacation, what did I get? A nervous breakdown. I swear I'll never go to the mountains again for a rest. But comes next decoration day. Activity, here I go again. Hey! I was a happy husband with a very lovely wife. We had 9 kids and always led a very happy life. Then we took in a boarder into our house one day. His name was Nat, he was a rat. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. My wifey, she bought twin beds, but how was I to know? She put hers in the bedroom above and mine in the cellar below. He was tall and dark and handsome with lots of muscles too. And every time she looked at him, she looked at me and went, pooh. Oy, Saurus, Saurus, I've got Forest, Saurus, Saurus, I got Saurus since Nat, the rat, that louse, is a boarder in my house. My neighbor told me something about my private life. He said, last night your shade was up. I saw you kissing your wife. You kissed her right in public. You know that isn't right. I said, my friend, the joke's on you. I wasn't home last night. Next day I came home oily. Did I get a surprise? My wife was sitting on Nat's lap right before mine eyes. They were sitting on my sofa. Did I get mad? Oy vey. The next day I went out and sold the sofa right away. Oy, Saurus, Saurus, I've got Forest, Saurus, Saurus, I got Saurus since Nat, the rat, that louse, is a boarder in my house. No matter what I did to him, he'd stick through thick and thin. The longer he stuck, the thinner I got. Oh, what a schmo I've been. It's getting so impossible, I don't know where I'm at. Each time I kiss my wife, I feel I'm double-crossing Nat. I'm getting so tzabushit, there's got to be a switch. I don't know who does what to whom and whom does what to which. I finally got rid of him, now everything's all right. He'll never live with us again. I burned my house last night. Oi, Saurus, Saurus, I've got Forest, Saurus, Saurus, I got Saurus since Nat, the rat, that louse, is a boarder in my house. My partner Joe said, listen, Mo, why don't you get wise? You should join my golf club, play golf and socialize. I said, Joe, okay, I'll go, but I don't know the game. He said, Schmo, I'll teach you. How he taught me was a shame. Oh, I play golf. Via Calacat, I play golf. A Kakamalaker, oi, oi, vey, a zulchen, vey, do I play golf. He took me to a broken-down golf course. What a golf course. Full of little holes, 18 of them. Why don't they fix it? And right away it cost me $100 for a couple of sticks. A driver, a nudnik, a smashy, a numklik, and a potzer. Then they told me to hit a little ball in a hole. I didn't even know there was a hole there. If I knew, I would have tried for it. The only holes I knew in the country was the dining hole, social hole, and swimming hole. They said I need a caddy, that's the first thing I was told. But what good is a caddy? I don't know which end to hold. To carry my bag, the caddy wants a small $2 fee. For $2, I can get a bag to carry me. They showed me how to hit the ball, but it's a funny thing. I always stood too close to the ball after I swing. They said it was impossible, but I'm a son of a gun. I took my putter in my hand and made a hole-in-one. The first hole I lost my golf ball, second hole I lost my partner, third I found my partner trying to sell my golf ball. I made a par in 62, the next hole I made 63, the fifth I made a birdie, then the birdie made on me. They're hitting balls around me, I hear the calls, balls to the left, balls to the right, balls, balls, balls. I finally beat my partner by one stroke, an epileptic stroke. Oi, everybody calls me Mo the Schmo. Everywhere I go, they call me Schmo. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I'm Mo na Schmo. Last 2 weeks in August, right up to Labor Day, I took myself to the mountains for my 2 weeks vacation with pay. I was looking for a girlie, for rumba just to dance. That's how I met my Shirley. Oh, did I have a romance? Oh, what a 2 weeks I spent. Listen to a lover's lament. Did I get loving on Nethican talk? Did I get kissing on Nethican talk? Each night we took a long, long walk along the lake. But all she did was talk and talk about her boyfriend Jake. Was she romantic? Oi, a Nethican talk. She drove me frantic. Oi, vey was a clock. I spent my hard-earned dough for 2 long weeks, but who entered the geld? For did I get it? Ah, Nethican talk. I tried her on the baseball field, oh, what a merry chase. Hey! We ran and ran and ran around, I couldn't touch first base. Hey! I tried her on the golf course, oh, she had me on the run. Hey! I even tried my putter, but I couldn't make a hole-in-one. Hey! I tried behind the tennis court, I tried down near the lake. Hey! I even tried in bush 16, but couldn't get a break. Hey! I chased that girl for 2 long weeks, but never did get wise. Until the day we said goodbye. I found to my surprise. What did I find out? That the social director, athletic director, the riding master Lou, the lifeguards, the waiters, and a couple of busboys too, the bellhops, the dance instructor, and even a tennis pro, they all got what I was after, all except me, poor Schmo. Everybody calls me Mo the Schmo. Everywhere I go, they call me Schmo.
Oh, Mo, you're such a schmo.
The hells, they know me. I'm Mo na Schmo.
Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, Easy Aces.
drop in at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Ace, better known to radio fans as the Easy Aces. Here we will find Mr. Ace, the patient, long-suffering husband, his wife Jane, with whom he tries to be patient but winds up suffering, and Jane's school-day friend Marge, who lives with the Aces. From time to time we shall meet other characters who people this hilarious comedy of domestic life, but at the moment we find Jane, Mr. Ace, and Marge sitting around the living room after dinner. Now let's drop in and get acquainted as we find Mr. Ace with his evening paper, Marge with a book, and Jane writing a letter. She seems troubled. Listen.
Oh, I'm getting all mixed up here. Dear,
Yes.
I'm having one of my bad spells again. How do you spell right?
Right?
Yes, I got it here in this letter I'm writing my sister, but it looks like I made a mistake. How do you spell it?
Well, which right do you mean?
Which? How many are there? Right, you know.
Well, there's W-R-I-T-E and there's R-I-G-H-T. Which do you want?
Either one, just so I spell it right.
Just so you spell it right, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just so I spell it right. Did you get that, Marge?
Yes, Jane, I think I did.
I just got it myself. Well, enough joking around.
Yeah.
How do you spell it, dear?
Well, Jane, how are you using it in the sentence? What are you saying ahead of it?
Ahead of it? Let me see. The word ahead of it is last.
Oh, last right. Well, that's R-I-T-E.
A new one came in. R-I-T-E?
Yeah, if that's the way you're using it.
Jane, what are you saying to your sister about last ride?
Oh, nothing in particular. All I'm saying is, dear Ethel, I'm glad you found time to at last write me.
To at last write you.
Oh, that last ride.
Yes, how do you spell that?
That's W-R-I-T-E.
With a W?
Yes, Jane.
Dear, have you been telling me wrong on purpose?
No, you said last right. I didn't know what you meant. Besides, you shouldn't split an infinitive that way.
Who did?
You said to at last write you. To write is an infinitive, and you're splitting it with at last. You shouldn't do that.
How do you like that? I asked him a simple question about spelling right, and that's what comes out.
Oh.
Isn't he disgusting, Marge?
Yes, positively revolting.
Look, Jane, you asked me this. I didn't start it.
I said, how do you spell right? Marge, didn't I say, how do you spell right?
You certainly did, Jane.
That's all I said. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know about infinitives. I'm sure Ethel doesn't want to know about infinitives. I'm sure she doesn't care if I split them or chop them or make hamburgers out of them.
I'm sure she doesn't, Jane.
Yeah, I take it back. I'm sure she wouldn't know an infinitive.
What are you writing Ethel about, Jane?
Oh, I'm writing to thank her for the book she sent me.
Oh, yes, that book. Did you read it?
Well, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Well, you know, in a haphazard way, I skipped.
No, Jane.
Why, Jane, shame on you.
Yes, I did. I couldn't help it. It didn't start out good.
Oh, I thought it did, Jane. I thought it was swell. I read it.
Well, right away, I didn't like the lover in the first chapter.
You didn't?
No, he was too swishy-washy. Oh, I know you shouldn't judge a book by its lover, but I don't know what to
No, never judge a book by its lover.
Jane, how do you judge a book?
Well, I don't know. I guess I just judge it if I like it or not. That's the only way I can tell.
Well, when do you like it and when don't you?
Well, I don't know. Stop asking me so many questions. All I know is I didn't like that book. Maybe the movie will be better.
Yes, we'll wait for that.
Do you like to see a movie after you've read the book or vice versa?
You mean, or read the movie after you've seen the book?
Yeah. No, did I say that?
Oh, I know what you mean, Jane. Personally, I like to see a movie after I've read the book, just to see if the character's the same as I visualized them when I read the book.
Pardon?
I mean, I like to compare the movie with the characters as I pictured them when I read the book.
Oh, I see what you mean, yes. Well, I always picture Ronald Colman when I read a book.
Always?
Yes. Who do you?
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way, Jane. I don't always picture the same person.
Oh, I do. That's why I didn't like this book. I couldn't picture Ronald Colman. And the things he kept saying to the girl, it was just... where is that book? Listen to some of these things. Here it is. Pretty bad, Marge. Wait till I find where he says about...
Jane, don't start reading the book to us.
I'm not. I don't like it. I just want to show you what I mean. Some of the things he says to her. Wait a minute. Oh, yes, here. Listen to this. This is him talking. Is that right? Oh, no, this is him speaking.
Yes, that's better, Jane.
Martha, you asked me a simple question. What about us? And I can only reply with a question. Is that important? Do we matter? Does anyone matter? Martha, there are moving forces abroad in the world today that will sweep us all into maternity. You see, dear, it's no fun.
Hey, let me read that book. That sounds very interesting.
Oh, you can read it if you want to, but you won't like it.
Oh, Jenny will so. This book has been selected by the Book of the Month Club.
Yes, it would take about a month to read it, too.
Oh,
You can't even get interested in it. Oh, they don't write books like they used to, do they? Remember the books we used to read? Those were love stories. Why don't they write books like those? Books that made you cry and things like that.
Yeah, come down to my office. I'll show you some books that'll make you cry.
Is that what you do down there, read books all day?
Jane.
Getting back to this book, Jane, well, didn't you think it was well written?
Well written? You mean no split infinitives and things like that?
Well, I mean...
Just a minute, Mark. You see how I learned, dear?
Yes, Jane.
Excuse me, Mark. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this book has a message.
Oh, if I want a message, I can call Western Union.
Oh, I see. I'm not getting anywhere with you.
Oh, but the books we used to read back home, Marge. Remember?
Vaguely, Jane.
Oh, I don't. I remember every one of them. Remember the book we read called Marge?
A book called Marge?
Yes, we got her at the library after school one day. We took her because she was Marge's nameplate.
My nameplate?
Yes, the girl the story was about had the same name as Marge's. Don't you remember that book, Marge? Well, we read it together, and we both cried, except you. I read it twice. Don't tell me you don't remember that book, Marge.
Oh, that was years ago. I'm afraid I've forgotten it.
I'll tell you the story.
Oh, couldn't you have said you remembered it?
Yes, it seems a mistake now. Yes, I remember it very well, Jane.
Oh, you do not. What was the story?
Well, it was a story about a girl named Marge.
Yeah, that's it. I thought you'd forgotten it. Wasn't that a story? That was a story. Not like this book, Moving Forces Abroad in the World Today. What kind of talk is that for a fellow with a girl? Especially when they're alone. Oh, they're alone when he says this to her, you know. Did I tell you they were alone?
Yes, Jane, I think you did.
Yes, they're alone, and that's the way he talks. That's not the way they used to talk in the old books. Oh, those were the days.
Yeah, that was the life.
Yes, it's a great life if you don't waken.
You said it.
But this book, ugh.
Ugh.
Now, on the other hand, take that record Ethel's husband sent us. Now, that's something.
Oh, the record, yeah.
I wrote him thanking him for it. I wrote him a separate note. Here it is. Oh, have I sealed it? No. Listen to this. Dear Homer, thanks so much for the wonderful record you sent us. It's simply beautiful, and it was so thoughtful of you to send it. We've all had so much pleasure out of it that I can't begin to tell you, because Bing Crosby is our favorite, and we certainly are getting a kick out of this record. And you can imagine how much more we will enjoy it when we get a Victrola and play it.
Oh, when we get a Victrola, we're really going to start enjoying it.
Yes, I thought it was very sweet of him to send us. But I don't know how Ethel happened to pick a book like this, though. She usually sends us such nice things.
Now, Jane, I don't think that's the right spirit. After all, it's not the gift, you know. It's the spirit in which it was sent.
Oh, yes, I shouldn't have said that, huh?
I should say you shouldn't have.
No, I shouldn't. I'm sorry. But anyhow, it is an awful book.
Oh,
what's the use?
Well, what's the use of kidding ourselves? Bing Crosby sings a song, and there's no moving forces abroad in the world. He just sings. I can understand that.
But you can't understand the book.
I certainly can't. I wish you would read it and see if you can. But you don't even read any books. Every night with that newspaper.
Well, there are moving forces abroad in the world today that the papers are full of.
That's what I mean. I don't see how you can read those papers every day.
Well, I like to know the news, Jane.
Oh, it's the same thing every day, only about different people. That's all you find in those papers. Clear it down. Read this book. Dear, I want you to read this from A to finish. I want you to see if I'm not right that it's no good. Start reading it now. And I want you to read a little bit every night after dinner.
Oh, that's my homework, huh?
Yeah. Oh, remember homework, Mark?
Jane, you're in a reminiscing mood, aren't you?
Yes, aren't I? Remember how we used to do our homework real fast so we could read our books? That's when we read those beautiful love stories. Those lovers in those books used to say things to the girl that meant something.
You mean when you used to think of him as Ronald Coleman?
No, in those days it was Raymond Navarro.
Oh, Raymond
Remember him, Mark? I used to think about him all the time. I used to think about what I'd say when I met him.
Oh, you never met him, though?
No, I met you, dear.
Oh.
Well, what an anticlimax.
Well, I've had some real competition, though, haven't I? Ronald Coleman, Raymond Navarro.
Oh, well, you're not so bad, dear.
Thanks, Jane. That's mighty decent of you.
Well, you're better than the fellow in that book.
Oh, that book's very good. Don't listen to her.
Marge, how can you say that? What little I read, I can see right away is not going to be good. He doesn't even marry Martha.
Then how do you know that if you didn't read the whole book?
Well, I told you I skipped.
Well, that's not fair. You're not in a position to judge a book that you only scanned through.
I know what I like and what I don't. This book is it. It's not only not interesting, but it's long, and the print is small, and it's too heavy to hold up in bed if you want to read before sleeping. And there's a lot of things wrong with it, too humorous to mention.
Outside of that, though, it's all right.
Outside of what? I mentioned everything wrong. It's just no good. Well, I guess I better get back to my letter.
Yes, I guess you better.
Where was I? Oh, yes, it's W-R-I-T-E. Is that final, dear?
Yes, Jane.
Dear Ethel, I'm glad you found time to at last write me. All right, to write me at last.
I didn't say anything.
No, but I saw that tone in your eye. Now, don't bother me. I want to finish this. Let me see
How do
here.
you like that for starting an argument?
Well, you did bring up the split infinitive.
Yeah, well, did I know it was almost going to split up our home?
Well, you should know better. And if you get time, read this book. You'll like it.
Yes, I know I will.
Well, I don't think I'll write anymore. I've said enough, I think.
You finished, then?
Yeah, I think so. I said, Dear Ethel, I'm glad you found time to write me at last. I want to thank you for the book you sent me. It was simply lovely. And I don't know when I enjoyed reading anything more.
What, after all we just went through?
That's the spirit,
Oh.
But between you and I, it's no good.
Jane, between you and me.
Oh, I split another infinitive, Marge.
No, that's not a split. Oh, is it?
Thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully you'll be a regular listener. We're here every Sunday night from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Time. So until next time, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.